Orange fans, you played every snap. You showed your orange. But you're just getting started because it's time for the best post-game fan show in college football. It's time for the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. The place where the Big Orange universe from all around the world gathers to talk about today's game. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic. And did we mention commercial-free? A show of you, by you, and yep, for you.
Yes! Yes!
The most unique fan experience in sports. And it happens right now. Get online at 865-200-5402. That's 865-200-5402. Or you can hit us up on Twitter at Tony Basilio. Now, here's your host of the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction, the man who's been keeping it real for the Vol fans for a quarter century. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Basilio.
Tennessee wins 42-9 as I welcome you into another edition. It's Garza Law. Tennessee 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm. One of the many folks I want to thank today. Today we had our Amachi tailgate in town for those precious, beautiful children that are served through the Amachi program. And God, man, it was just such a touching day. Joey Aguilar, his streak of 200 yards passing rolls on and plays another day as he was 17 of 23, 204 yards. And as soon as he completed his last pass play, they got him out of there and got Jake Merkling in there. And there went Tony Basilio's dream to cover. Brian Hartman, you know what I mean? As soon as Merklinger walked into that game, my little bet I made on the Vols, because I thought the Vols would hammer that team today, it walked right out of the building. So here we are. We're going to do a watch-along, ladies and gentlemen. Ole Miss scored the first 10 on Florida, and you're thinking, well, the Florida Gators are going to get blown out, because it sets up what I'm calling a no-excuses game next week. And in true Lee Corso fashion, not so fast, my friend, because it's 10-7, and Florida just intercepted a pass in the flat, and they're going to have the ball deep in Ole Miss territory, about to take the lead here. So we'll watch along with you as it is Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix, 865-200-5402. Brian Hartman is with me to start. Brian, your thoughts on what we witnessed, and then we go to the phones.
Well, kind of a blog game for the most part.
Yep.
They did what they were supposed to do. It wasn't really competitive. I thought their defense, Boo Carter didn't play because of an injury, and somehow that felt like addition by subtraction. They actually did not allow a touchdown until midway through the fourth quarter, so I think that's a positive. The defense is playing much better, and I just hope they're not too banged up, because you saw Peyton Lewis. He looked like he went out. Miles Kitzelman sustained an injury, it looked like, of some sort, and hopefully they're ready to go next week. So that's another thing, as far as just you want to be sure you got your guys healthy for what now comes down to a 2-game season. Florida, Vanderbilt. That's going to really determine how you feel about the year, those 2 games.
Yeah, really strange game. I mean, when you look at it, New Mexico State had the ball 35 minutes and 39 seconds to Tennessee's 24 minutes and 21 seconds. Tennessee had 13 points off their two turnovers. The Vols had a turnover early when Kitzelman was out, fought for a ball in Tennessee's first series. And so ball was taken away from him. But for the most part, to Brian's point, I found today to be kind of a bye game. We'll go to the phones. And it wasn't exactly a clean game either, but how are you going to be clean in games like this? You know, we've marveled in the past when Tennessee's had games like this and they've kept them clean. But truly, how are you supposed to play cleanly when you play in a game like this? Because, from my perspective, I just kind of look at games like this and I kind of go, okay, whatever. I mean, we'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Perlotti commits a personal foul penalty. I mean, that's, it was offsetting, but he's going to do that once a game, I guess. I like him. He's very aggressive. They need to figure out a way to kind of gear him down a little bit. But he looks like he's going to be a really nice player. But he definitely hit the quarterback in the head. They're going to call that 100 times out of 100 times. And then I like the special teams penalty, the obligatory personal foul right in front of Josh Hypel. That was pretty next level. It's Garza Law, Tennessee, fifth quarter fan reaction. Shout out to everybody who made it possible for us today, shared their tickets with those kids. We got in well over 400 tickets. We had the biggest tailgate we've ever had. It was simply an incredible day to be alive and well, and there were so many mentors that walked up to me and with their mentees saying, hey, this is the first time this youngster's been over here, and it was just a great thing. Special shout out to Brooke and everybody there. Special shout out to my friends at Calhoun's. They are the Taste of Tennessee for catering it. Special shout out to the two gentlemen in the mid-state who bought the tent for us today. And those of you that looked into buying those tents know exactly what I'm talking about over there in Circle Park. But the kids had a first-class experience today. Special shout-out to everybody that came with tickets, from D. Wayne Light to the great Marcos Garza and all of you. My man Alan over at WeShipFloors.com. Special shout-out to Beth Parks and my friends at Alumni Hall. Y'all were incredible today. Those kids were just freaked out by how great the stuff was that you made available for us. Just an amazing day. And great to see our Vols get back in the win column. Now Tennessee with an opportunity as a 9-3 finish is in sight. Next week, we'll find out, top of this week, whether it's going to be an afternoon game or a night game with the Florida Gators, who looked like they were going to quit early in this game, down 10-0, and looked to be in this one. So the Lane Kiffin Bowl. Is Lane going to lay an egg at Ole Miss the way Doug Dickey laid an egg bride before Doug Dickey went down to Florida, the way Lane Kiffin goes down to Florida? Is that what's going to happen? Is history about to repeat itself 60-some years later on national television, Brian? Is that what's getting ready to happen here?
Will there be a song named about it, like a Tricky Lane or something like that?
Tricky Lane.
Or a Dead-End Lane or something.
Lover Boy Lane, a former quarterback. Presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law Firm. Let's go to the phones. Whether it's DUI, defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, my friends at the Garza Law Firm have you covered. One of his attorneys today, the great Andy Kofer, ran a half marathon with my son in downtown Knoxville, and then both made the show today over at the Tailgate. It was unbelievable, Andy. And I want to congratulate, by the way, and Marcos Garza does as well, the South Carolina Gamecocks. You can go ahead and collect your case of Rice-A-Roni and whatever's behind door number 3, Carol Merrill, because that was brutal today. I'm sorry, that's brutal. But congratulations to them. And congratulations to A&M while we're on the subject here. But really, congratulations to this town, because we've got some wonderful people living in it. And Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm, those people are literally the fruit of the deal. They really are. So whether it's DUI, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, or any other of a myriad of disciplines, online 24/7 at GarzaLaw.com, as lo and behold, the Florida Gators, Bri, have taken, pending the extra point, a 13-10 lead right at the beginning of the second quarter. This is a shocker at Ole Miss.
We didn't mention congrats to Oklahoma, who is sent shockwaves around college football by going into Tuscaloosa and beating the Crimson Tide 23-21.
As our winners and losers guy called it, Lee the other night on Winners and Losers presented by our friends at Dos Equis. Go for Dos. Those guys called that, which I kind of said no. And on my little card that I had, and guess what? Those guys were right and I was wrong, but we'll go to the phones.
That's DeBoer's first home loss at Alabama.
We're going to watch Texas and Georgia as well tonight as the night unfolds. Two excellent games in the SEC. Of course, Tennessee's got Florida next. Position statement. And then we'll go to the phones. If Tennessee is to have a credible football season this season, they've got to win the Florida game. If the Vols are to have a credible football season. Florida game is a non-negotiable. It's got to be a win. Got to get it. Got to have it. Got to have it. And I understand, and you understand, and we all understand, okay? We all understand. Everybody understands that it's a road game next week. Got to have that game. And Josh Hypel told the TV crew this week that the way he looks at the playoff spot is nobody's out of this thing. Keep playing. I agree with that. You never know. These teams in this league lay one on top of the other. Again, I'm back to this whole NFL comparison. Ole Miss was just up 10-0 on a team that quit last week on the road. And now the score's 14-10. I mean, the league is wild. It's crazy. Let's go to the phones. Matt will be joining us at some point. Hopefully C comes out of retirement at some point. Ewad will be in the house. Maybe Cinco as well as we go along this evening. But it'll be fun. Nonetheless, let's go to our phones, and let's get our first call in, factual and furiously. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, Dave.
Oh, there he is.
Well, we don't have to worry about Oklahoma coming to get our boy because they already got a better coach. They got a better coach who's tougher, who's not soft. Our guy is soft. Soft as Charmin. Our guy, his team plays like his demeanor. That's what our coach is.
This is a good tone setter for Florida week, don't you think, Tom?
Really great tone setter, Dave. Wonderful.
And this team is not beating. This team is going 7-5. This team is not beating any team with a pulse because they can't get out of their own way because they are poorly coached.
They did not look, shall we say, sharp today. I'll have to admit that.
Off a bye week, Tony.
Yeah, they were not sharp today. As Brian said, that was kind of a listless sort of football game today in Neyland Stadium.
What is your late in the third quarter?
Right.
What is your starting offensive guard in the game to get hurt? What is your starting tight end in the game late in the third quarter getting hurt against New Mexico State? What are they doing in the game?
I don't know, man. But I kind of agree with that. Now, I disagree with you about him and the Oklahoma coach and this, that, and the other. Although that was a hell of a win by them. I mean, they did something we couldn't do. They went to, well, they've done it 2 weeks in a row, basically, or in their last 2 times out, gone into 2 buildings with 2 pretty good teams out in front of them. It just shows you how right there all these teams are with each other. It's just an uncanny year in this thing. Well, no, he hasn't.
Sure he has.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't been to a playoff, Dave. No, he hasn't, Dave.
He's got 2 better wins on the road than Hypel got wins on the road during the season.
Quit moving the cheese, Dave. Okay, this year. All right, relax. The year's not over yet. Relax.
I don't have to relax. I know that. Hey, listen, Tony. I've been going to games over there since 1971. I know exactly how this all's going to end, and I do.
You know, here's the thing, Dave.
Here's another thing, Tony.
Dave. I'm not going to fight with you because I have to maintain credibility. Incredibly speaking, the Vols were not sharp today, and they were not really impressive. I mean, if we're just going to be honest about it, it's nice to get a win.
You better go out and get him a quarterback, Tony, in the portal.
Well, they're not going to. Now, I can promise you this. The kid you saw mop up a quarterback today has 0 chance. has zero, and I mean zero, chance of being your quarterback next year, as in zero.
Well, he better not be starting either Mac or the true freshman.
Well, come on,
next
man.
year.
Come on, man.
Or you're going to be looking. Are they going to be better on defense? How much better on defense are they going to be? How much better on offense are they going to be next year?
Well, let me see what we do in the portal. All right, let me see what we do in the portal.
Y'all have a good night.
See ya. Good talking to you. 865-200-5402. The Boo Carter thing, he just remains kind of his own free agent. I give Boo Carter a lot of credit because he was checked out in the summer. And, we had this thing we were asking this week. Florida checked out. We had Bobby Wilder on the show this week to celebrate the season that Tennessee Tech's having and still having. They play for a shot at getting to the playoffs. And Bobby Wilder said, he said, I'm looking at video. He said, and I'm watching Florida. He said, and they quit. The Florida Gators quit last week. He said, when you watch enough video, you can see, is this team trying? Are they playing to the level? Are they giving it everything they have on every play? He said, and the answer is no, no, and no. But how did they do this? How are they leading right now against Ole Miss?
What would be better for us, Florida to lose a close game or for them to get blown out tonight? And they still could get blown out.
Well,
if they lose a heartbreaker tonight,
yeah.
I actually think that might be helpful to the Vols.
Josh Turley and his wife are having their first child on Saturday next week, so the Vols have to win. Josh, I agree with that. It's even more reason why this is a must-win game. Congratulations on that. John Adams, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com, she of Keller Williams. As I remind you, my friends at Calhoun's, feed the family. For the holidays, be a hero. We have hot and ready smoked turkey for you, which is fresh turkey, mashed potatoes, peas, unbelievably delicious gravy, dressing, rolls, cranberry sauce, and cheesecake. You can feed 5 or feed 10. There's 2 different deals for you. HolidayFeedPacks.com is where you go. And they also have hot and ready, the prime rib, which I'm telling you right now, it will melt in your mouth. That is fresh prime rib, cut by their USDA butchers. Mashed potatoes, au jus, spinach Maria, gravy, rolls, horseradish sauce, cheesecake. Let's go. Let's go back to the phones and I get John Adams in here. And I want to get his thoughts on what we witnessed today. As Florida leads 14-10, Ole Miss with the football, about 13 minutes to play in the first half in Oxford. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Tony? Joshy.
Wingzo.
I mean, did we really expect anything else from Negative to liven the room up?
Oh, he was really fun, wasn't he?
Yeah, what a ray of sunshine.
Oh, he's really wonderful.
All right. Yeah. So, thoughts on the Tennessee-New Mexico State game? I'm not going to talk much about it. I'm going to talk some about Tennessee-Florida next week.
That's what it is. That's what we are. We're in a pregame show right now for the Florida game. Yep.
First off, I wanted to say the one pick on Joey, the throw to Kitzelman, that was not Joey's fault, in my opinion. I just feel like
can't let a guy take a ball out of your hands like that. Come on, man.
I know. Well, what I was going to say is, Tony, if you let me finish, Kitzelman, I know everybody's excited he came back this season, but he's kind of been useless this season, to be honest.
Kitzelman's had a rough year. Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
But the other pick, I put that on Joey, though. You just can't make that throw.
Well, one thing about him we've seen, and we heard this when he was at App State, we've seen it this year. We saw it against Oklahoma. Balls will sail on him from time to time.
Yeah, it will.
And that's what happened there.
Yeah. What did you guys think about all 3 running backs' performance today? I thought they all looked really solid, and all 3 got touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought today was a really solid day for Tennessee's running game.
Yeah. Does it feel like Joey has kind of lost his swagger any? What do you guys think?
John Adams, do you think Joey Aguilar's lost his swagger a little bit from what we saw earlier in the year as I bring you in?
No, not really. I think he was up against a great defense with Oklahoma, playmaking a defense that oddly enough didn't force turnovers in the first half of the season. Now it's gone back-to-back, three turnovers in each game against Tennessee and Alabama, and that decided that game. But that's a really talented defense with a really good defensive strategist in Brent Venables. I just think when you look at Joey Aguilar, Tennessee should really still be very grateful that he was available and he came to Tennessee. Because imagine if he hadn't.
Oh, John, did you see
situation?
John, did you see that backup quarterback today when they put him in that football game?
Not really, because he turned sideways and I just lost him.
I mean, no offense to him.
Yeah.
But wow, that was a tough watch.
It was a tough watch, Tony.
Oh, what a bad football player. No offense to him.
I have some points to make out the door. First point, I'm going to say, second half throughout the season, I feel like Braylon Staley has been the best wide receiver for Tennessee. My second point I'm going to make, I agree with whoever said it a few minutes ago before Dave's call. I feel like if Florida loses a close game to Ole Miss, that would be really helpful for us going into next week. And Tony, out the door, you're going to love this. Guys, before the Tennessee-New Mexico State game, New Mexico State's team total was 9.5 on that touchdown New Mexico State scored to obviously have 9 points. They missed the extra point, hits the left or right, upright of the field goal. Do you guys think that any of the players had money on New Mexico State team total under 9.5? See ya.
Well, I'll tell you this, Josh, if that's the case, okay, and the kicker is deft enough to go out there and hit the crossbar or hit the upright on the left side, that is some serious point shaving right there. John, will you join me in that? I mean, that would be some seriously wonderful point shaving if that kid went out there and came that close. Such a wonderful thing. I love it. Let's go to the phones at 860. Yeah.
That's a funny take.
Yep.
But you know what?
Yep.
People are thinking this more than ever now. That's what sports have become.
No question.
People, I'm sure there were people watching the Texas A&M first half against South Carolina and thinking, oh my gosh, are they throwing the game? A&M, as good as it's been all year, was just played one of the worst first halves of the season. Of course, if you were really shaving points, you wouldn't be that obvious about it. But there's so much gambling going on now, and we keep hearing more and more about investigations by FBI and so forth. I think more people are cognizant of that. So when something weird happens, it pops into their head.
Stribling just took in one from 43 yards out on an incredible route combo, slant in the middle of the field. And Ole Miss has gone back in front of Florida. Brian Hartman, the T3 TD of the game. What do you got, my man? What's the T3 TD of the game, Bri? Presented by our friends at T3 Vodka.
I like the touchdown pass, the one touchdown pass Aguilar threw, the only one of the game for anybody to stay. I guess it was Staley.
It was Staley.
From 15 yards.
Yes.
He looks like he just threw it on a rope, and Staley made just a great catch. He was all alone, wide open, and that made it 21-7. I thought I guess, 21, what was it? 21-0, I think.
21-0 at the time.
So,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, that made it sort of feel like, well, if New Mexico State was going to be competitive, I think that's out the door. They've already been kind of competitive, but if you were going to be sweating in the second half, I don't think we'll be sweating in the second half.
It culminated a 13-play, 99-yard drive, 4:46 consumed from the clock. 21-0. The Vols had the lead, 11:24 to play in the first half, and in the second quarter rather. In the first half. At that point, I thought to myself, you are going to cash a winning ticket with the Vols because, I mean, they're going to blow this team off the field. Staley finished with 5 receptions, 58 yards. And Chris Brazel was Tennessee's leading receiver. Again, 65 yards, 3 catches. But Staley has really developed for this team. We're going to go back to our phones. Before we do, though, I want to remind you, you score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted, passion, precision, so much pride. Listen to me, Volunteer State. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills right of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality isn't just a promise, a way of life. Filtered 10 times, 80 proof. Delivering a smoothness unmatched. We were looking at somebody to tailgate near us, and they had some T3 over there, and I gave the guy a nod, and I said, hey, you've got good taste. So when you go to your local restaurant or your wine and liquor store, ask for T3 by name. Drink it neat, drink it right. It's award-winning. It's a 5-time gold medal winning vodka, 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice medal winner, and score a T3 TD every time. Tennessee's premium vodka, distributed by Athens Distributing. And we ask you to please drink responsibly. On a night where the Vols improved to 10-0. 10-0 during our Amachi tailgate for the kids. The Keith Hatfield Memorial Amachi tailgate for the kids. And 10-0 is you know, you don't mess with us. I'm thinking about doing it for the Texas game next year. Really putting it on the line, John. Laying it on the line, Grace Slick, as we get ready to go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on Garza Law, 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. The TLD Logistics phone lines are burned them up. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Greg here.
Hey, Greg, welcome in.
Hope everybody's well. Hello there.
Everybody's great,
John
brother.
And Brian, if I could spit that out.
Always great to see the Vols win.
Yep. Glad they won, guys. I'm kind of like Brian, what he said at the start. Kind of a blah game. A blah. That's what I feel like right now watching it. And let me say, and to all longtime Tennessee Vols football fans, we are orange and white. Tennessee's colors are orange and white. Danny White. 2 in a row. Last time got beat by Oklahoma wearing black. There's not a black in the Tennessee colors, period, out of the history of Tennessee. Today, I don't know what the uniform's called they had on today. Black pants with some kind of design down the sides. I don't know. People talk about Oregon's got these different colors and different uniforms. Nobody should talk about Oregon because looks like we're being just like they are. Let's go back to orange and white. Guys, last 2 games, in my opinion, hadn't played worth of crap on defense. There's a lot of hitting going on with runners running the ball against us, and you're not wrapping your arms around them. You're hitting them like a pinball. You're bouncing off of them, and they're getting 5, 10 more yards. I see that I don't know how many times the last 2 games. But I'm glad for a victory, but I'm going to tell you guys, I feel it down deep. We'll lose at Florida, and we'll lose when we play Vanderbilt.
Well, I tell you this, Bino said it yesterday, and I think he's right. John, I want your thoughts on this. If the Vols don't play better than they've played all year, they won't beat that Vanderbilt team. They've got to play better than they've played. Obviously today, you can't concentrate when you play a team as bad as New Mexico State, so those games are going to look sloppy. They are what they are. But, John, the Vols are going to have to ratchet it up a notch when Vanderbilt comes in here, and they're going to have to clean their side of the field up because Tennessee just does too many things that they hurt themselves too much.
They do. And Tony, I think it's kind of asking a lot to clean things up now.
Yep.
Kind of are who you are at this point in a season. I don't think the defense will suddenly become competent. I think it's going to have. I think the defense needs to do what it did tonight, and it got a couple of interceptions. It'll need to do that against Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt's offense is going to be effective against Tennessee's defense. I'm not saying Tennessee can't win the game, but its offense is definitely going to cause problems for Tennessee. I give credit to Tennessee for only allowing 9 points against a very feeble opponent.
Yeah,
that's one of the worst offensive teams in the country. They have the very worst running game. They average 69 yards on the ground.
Yep.
Yet you still saw some missed tackles, broken tackles by those running backs. I mean, it was it was an okay performance.
Yep.
But I just don't think you can look at this game and tell anything about how the next 2 games will go.
Well, this Lagway guy is going off right now, okay? Like he just hit Sturdivant in stride. That's what Greg just said wow to. Greg, am I right?
Yeah.
Tell John about that pass.
57-yard bomb.
Tell John how good that pass was.
I'm behind. I just saw it.
Look at that, man. Are you kidding? What is Florida doing, Greg? I thought they quit.
Well, hey, they get a little extra time to kind of put their thoughts together after what's happened to them. You got any pride at all? And Florida's program has a lot of pride. So the players have gotten together. I'm sure it's been a meeting with the players. We're going to finish this year the best we can. So,
Greg, you don't like
us?
What I'm saying. You don't like us next week, Greg?
They don't look like they've put anything together, guys.
No, but it's
my
hard to tell.
eyes are seeing what my eyes are seeing.
No, I'm not.
I'm worried.
I don't
worried
blame
about
you.
What's going on.
No, I don't blame you. And listen, I appreciate the call. Thank you. As Dave jumps out, if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, we'd love to hear from you. Shout out to our friends at Waterside Contracting. They donated a bunch of parking spots today for the Amachi folks to use, which really enhanced their enjoyment of the day. So thank you to them. We really appreciate you, because if you have a dream about buying some land and maybe you want to build, Waterside Contracting is the ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true for hundreds in our area. Custom homes, remodels, they do it all. Build on your lot, incredible work all over the area, structural integrity, quality without compromise, Waterside Contracting, incredible work at watersidecontractingllc.com. When it's time to make your dreams come true, Michael Scott, what you going to do? What you going to make your dreams come true? Quality without compromise, Waterside Contracting. John, the funny thing about college football is just when you think you have it figured out, it changes the questions on you. That Oklahoma win today with Alabama. Now, one thing we know about Alabama, and it got them late in the game today, and it could have gotten them late in our game if we didn't throw the interception at the end of the half. When you can't run the football and grind out a first down when it matters in this league, it's amazing if they get through this league at 10-2. If they finish the league at 10-2, it'll be a nice accomplishment for them. Because they literally, John, cannot run the football. Like, cannot run it. And seeing that today, and the other result to me that's just a remarkable result is how Texas A&M has had all that trouble down through history, had the start that they had, and then came back and won that football game in the second half today. And granted, South Carolina did a whole lot of cooperating, but that is just what we're seeing right now in this league is truly from the land of the bizarre, week in and week out. Week in and week out here.
Well, Tony, one of the things I think it was probably a consensus opinion. We weren't sure about it, but as the season, even after the first month of the season, you could kind of see it. It didn't look like there were any great teams in the SEC, but it looked like there were a lot of good teams, and that's why this is the strongest conference top to bottom right now. But it creates a lot of uncertainty. It's very much like last year going down the stretch. You can't assume anything. But Ole Miss may come back against Florida. I wouldn't be surprised at all about that, and win out. However, Ole Miss could lose to Florida, and it could lose at Mississippi State. That's a rivalry game. A lot of strange things have happened in that series. So it's in Starkville this year. But you're so right. That's one of the most amazing SEC games I've ever seen. as bad as as Texas A&M was in that first half, to be is so honed in and so focused in that second half. It was relentless. And then after all that, it almost threw the game away on one of the dumbest calls I've ever seen.
Some of the coaching and the things that goes on that will go on in this league on a weekly basis, you just shake your head at it on Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction where the TLD logistics hotlines are burning up. Hello, you're on the air. Welcome in. Hi, welcome in. Let's try this again. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air. All right, that's one person down. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
Hey, brother. My second time calling.
Thank you for calling.
John Adams is on the phone.
Thank you for calling.
Tony, I think you and I were at UT my second time about the same time. Right. I remember when John was putting those articles back in the old days, and we were all pissed off. All right. So here we go. So I'm not going to do unicorns and smiley faces. I'm going to talk to you from money. You come back limping from Gainesville, Florida next week with an L on your chest, and that's unforgivable. I want to be clear with you. We're not a long time. We enjoy your content. We listen to you. That's unforgivable. From a football program that's in disarray down there, that's unforgivable. So I'm putting you and John Adams and C and Matt Dixon on notice.
Yep.
That's unforgivable. So whatever you got to do, pace the floors, do a rain dance, shake your fist, you know, whatever you got to do not come back from Gainesville, Florida to Knoxville, Tennessee with a loss. Are we clear, Tony?
I had a position statement on the blog over at tclub.team Tuesday of this week. The entire panel on Tuesday, John, Brian, and myself, all signed off on it. Bino Jeff Henderson signed off on it yesterday at Calhoun's. C has signed off on it in absentia. We are all one voice right now, my friend. We are all one voice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are all one voice.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, we are all one voice. Here's the thing about it, though. How do we account for Florida right now going on the road with 5 minutes to go and a half leading?
Tony, we don't want to hear it's been 100, it's been 1,000 years since we won down there.
Right.
No one wants to hear that. It's business. It's business. This is a football program that's in disarray.
Yep.
You come back and you limp back from Gainesville, Florida.
Will you beat Vanderbilt?
And they're going to have real problems.
Will you beat Vanderbilt if you lose to Florida? Will you beat Vanderbilt if you lose to Florida, in your opinion?
Losing to Vanderbilt would make General Neyland roll over in his grave. So let's be clear. You know what? You can't go down to Gainesville and limp back home with loss. I'm being honest with you. Hey, Tony, we love your content. I'll listen to it on the podcast. You can't come back limping from a football program in disarray with loss. And General Neyland would roll over in his grave with loss. Now, Tony, let's be real. We're the same age. Let's be real. That's unacceptable. And don't come and ring doorbells wanting money with those losses on your hands.
You see, I think that's a true statement. I don't know if Danny White realizes that, but if I were him, I would get one message to Josh Hypel, and that's please don't come, please do not lose next week to these guys. Let's
that's
please not do that.
Unforgivable.
Yes. Let's
Are we
please
clear,
not do
Tony?
that.
Now, we can put unicorns and rainbows on that. I'm not your usual caller.
Yep.
We're here watching on a big screen. We love you, Tony.
Yes.
But that's unforgivable next week. Let's be clear. It's unforgivable.
John, what is next week? I want to make sure John's clear on this. John, what is it for next week?
I think it's pretty clear. I had trouble hearing some of that call, but I think I got the general message that he conveyed. It's very clear. A loss at Florida, a team that's in disarray.
Yes.
That would be unforgivable. Look,
we
talked about it.
Thank you to my caller.
I think it would be worse for Tennessee football to lose to Vanderbilt in Neyland Stadium with Vanderbilt in the running for the playoff.
I had a call. I
just think that would be tougher for people to deal with because of the idea that Vanderbilt could end up in the playoff at Tennessee's expense. Losing to Florida, that's business as usual. 10 straight losses in the swamp. And when watching Florida today, it looks like a completely different team than it did against Kentucky when it really did just give up.
Shout out to Zach.
Earlier.
Shout out to Zach Reagan of A to Z Sports. Josh Hypel today taking head on the question about Boo Carter. This is at the end of his press conference. Listen into this, John Adams. I want you to read between the lines of what Josh Hypel's saying here.
At the end of the day, there's a standard you got to meet to be in that locker room, and so he was not out on the field with us. That'll be the last. That'll be my last response to anything related to that for right now.
All right, one more time. One more time on.
At the end of the day, there's a standard you got to meet to be in that locker room, and so he was not out on the field with us.
There you go. And he says that's the last time. John, do you believe Boo Carter is a member of the team next week when they go to Florida?
I can't fathom as being a member of the team. I mean, as many chances as he's gotten.
Yes.
I really thought he might be at least suspended for the first game. He wasn't. I thought there was a good chance he would be kicked off the team. He wasn't.
Yes.
How many chances does he have? He's a liability back there, and he's getting paid a lot of money to catch balls on punts, and that's pretty much all he's done. So, my goodness, cut the guy loose. Forget about him.
Who's got a better deal?
Boo Carter? In this situation, Tony, if that's the case, if he's off the team, say so. Don't be vague about it. Just say he's off the team.
Hypel just the same guy.
Fans would appreciate that. Be straightforward.
He's the same guy.
It's addition by subtraction.
Hypel's the same guy that won't criticize an official to the microphone when he should rip him. He's the same guy that turned that microphone around a couple years ago on some of the calls that went against him when they were on the road. Hypel, for me, doesn't have enough, whatever that oomph is, that thing. And he's a hell of a coach, and he's a great competitor. And I don't want him to be something he's not, but I wish he had a little more of that. Can I say that? John, you know what I'm saying?
Sure you can.
Can I say that? I wish he had a little more of it. The little more of that oomph, as I like to call it, that oomph.
Well, Tony, I don't go. There's a reason not to talk about the officiating because it often comes across as it's just sour grapes when you lose a game. You talk about officiating. That's a completely different issue. But just don't be so vague. What is wrong with just saying Boo Carter's off the team? I mean, I think he had a really hard time saying Nico Yamaleava was gone in the spring. It's just he doesn't want to criticize players. But it's one thing to criticize players when they're doing the best they can and they're playing up to their potential and they're trying as hard as they can. It's quite another, particularly in this era where guys are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year playing football, to be no more, to give no more effort. To be less of a factor. I mean, Boo Carter, if we go back to the summer before all this stuff started happening and we heard all this stuff about him not being with the team and so forth, I mean, he was, I think there was a lot of people, we thought he could be one of the most talented athletes on this team. And he really could be a three-way player as a punt returner, as a defensive back, and as a receiver, and he's been a no-way player.
I just wish, I wish Hypel had a little more oomph to him, John. That's all. But you're right about Carter. Carter is a mistake. Nico is a mistake. You can't make mistake number 3. You can't let guys run over you. You just can't.
No, and we talked about this a lot. There are a lot of players on this team that didn't want Boo Carter to be a part of it.
That's right.
After what happened this summer. So, those are the guys you want to.
Yep.
You want to, if you're going to err on their side, you want to take care of those guys.
Yes.
That are doing what they're supposed to do and they're giving the effort. But Boo Carter, just not much of a factor. And I think Tennessee would have been better off without him. Not saying it would have won any more games if it hadn't had him on the roster, but I think the players would have felt better about things going forward. If in preseason, before the first game, if Josh Hypel would have said he's off the team.
Matt Dixon called it. Matt, you're in here. You called it back in the summer. I don't know if you just heard the Hypel quote about Boo Carter, Matt Dixon, but I'm not counting on him going to Gainesville with the team next week, Matt. And by the way, I don't know why Josh Hypel didn't just say that. Because he basically said he's off the team without saying he's off the team. And what's the guy do to get thrown off the team? Matt Dixon, your thoughts on today's game?
You took care of business in a game that, there's zero excitement for. You can't really get up and motivate a team for a game like this against an opponent that literally has no chance to beat you. But, the offense was really sluggish, especially in that second quarter. But I'm not going to look too much into it. You got a big 2-game season coming up. What happened tonight and today really means nothing compared to what happens over these next 2 weeks. So, but Tennessee won and the Gumps lost, so it's a great day.
Back to the phones we go. Yeah, the Gumpers got beat, and the Gumpers can't run the football. And when you can't run the football, sooner or later in these games, you're going to pay the price.
They lost exactly how Tennessee did. Give up a defensive score, miss a field goal, have a couple of more turnovers that Oklahoma capitalized. That was Oklahoma's only path to victory, and they found it. So congrats to them. If they hadn't played Mateer against Texas, they would be a playoff team right now. And they still could sneak in if they went out.
It was pure vanity, John, playing him against Texas. Pure vanity.
Yeah, I really think with that Oklahoma game showed how even when a team is on its heels and it's struggling terribly, if it finds ways to win, if it's resourceful in this league, in this era, it really pays off. Because I looked at that schedule in preseason that Oklahoma had, and I thought it could be really good defensively. Don't know about its offense, but no way it can make the playoff. The schedule is just too much for it. But it's found ways to get. I mean, the passing yardage combined that Texas, that Tennessee and Alabama piled up against Oklahoma, must have been around 700 yards. And Oklahoma just struggled. It won, as they say, ugly. But it might make the playoff now. It could beat Missouri and
sure.
and LSU at home.
That would be a great coaching. That guy's coach of the year if they do that. Maybe the guy at Vanderbilt might be. Who knows? Let's go back to the phones, get our next call in on your Garza Law. 5th quarter fan reaction. We're off to a rip-roaring start. Josh Hypel with a vague, weird comment on Boo Carter. As it was reported earlier by Austin Price that basically Boo Carter was catching punts on Thursday and then kind of went missing. And Boo Carter's he's been a lot of fun. The guy I think that guy's making around $700,000 a year, which ain't bad money if you can get it. Who's stealing more, him or the guy at Kentucky right now, the head coach up there? Hi, welcome in. You're on Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Hey, Tony, it's Randy from Altamont.
Hey, Altamont, welcome in, brother.
Hey, on the Boo Carter thing, he's not done nothing all year. It's over with. He's gone. Good luck to the kid. Hope he straightens his life out. Hope he finds the Lord if he ain't found him and has a good life. What's killing our offense right now is our offensive guards and center. Joey is getting so much they dominate. I mean, they pushed our offensive line around. I think they did, especially the middle.
The one interception he threw when the ball sailed, he had pressure on him, and he was hit by their best pass rusher. Yeah. Matt, were you surprised that New Mexico State was able to get as much pressure on him at times as they were?
Yes, yeah, and Randy's right. It's all up the middle. So the interior of our offensive line did not have a good day at all today for whatever reason. But no, he's right. Aguilar was pressured a bunch, mostly just right up the middle. So that's obviously a concern. And then, of course, Wendell Moe got hurt there in that drive where I think 4 starters got hurt, which was really an impressive feat to have in that game. But, yeah, it's definitely a concern going forward these next 2 games.
And, Tony, a lot of our tackling problem on our defense is our angles. They have horrible angles going after somebody.
Yep.
It's just when you have a bad angle, you're arm tackling. You just because you're already out of position. You got it. That's all you got left if you're even there. And Tony, people are calling in about Florida beating all that. Tennessee's not that good, Tony.
Yeah, but Florida's
what do we do really, really well? We throw the football.
Hey, Randy, Florida's 3-6, my friend. Talk about
I
not that good.
understand that, but Florida's got talent.
I agree with that.
It's not. If they've got talent, if they want to play, they'll play. If they don't, they don't. That's what we're going down there with. If they play, it'll be a good game. If they don't,
yep,
it won't. I mean, it's just plain and simple about that game. But Florida's got talent to play. I mean, they probably got a better head coach than they did. Florida's playing tonight.
There is very little doubt.
They're playing.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't say shocked, but I'm pretty damn surprised the level of Florida's compete right now. Lagway looks like he is – I've never seen a guy go in and out like this dude. He looks so engaged in some games, and in others, he looks like a guy that you would pay $2 million to, $3 million to next year to put on your team. And sometimes you look at him and you say, man, I wouldn't have that guy in a million years. Oh, yeah, they're playing tonight. They're blocking at the point of attack. They're really good on offense tonight. I mean, really good.
And Tony, do you think that Florida's defensive tackles can push our guards around? Tomorrow, Saturday, watch that part of the game. If they push our guards around, Aguilar's in trouble. Because our offense, our quarterback stays. He hits the ball and he stays in a spot.
Sure he does. Yeah.
He stays.
Sure.
Okay, and our tackles do pretty good because they can push people around. Hypel's offense will always have trouble if he does not have good guard play because that push up the middle is going to destroy that, especially with those tackles pulling and everything.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of that tackle pull and all that stuff. And our just so much of our offense is made to up the middle of the field. Our running is made to go in tackle to tackle. That's where, and we've struggled there this year.
Hey, Matt, we've heard that, right? We've heard internally they've been worried about their guard play and then somewhat their center play as well in terms of getting the ball snapped in a timely manner, kind of bogging down their offense at times. So you agree with the caller here, Randy, that we got roughed up in the middle today by a directional school?
Yeah, by a team that just doesn't have any kind of athletes to cause problems. But and it goes back, go back to the Oklahoma game. You couldn't run the ball at all.
Yeah,
it was one of the worst rushing games of the Hypel era, and really that's what cost you there. So yeah, it's certainly a problem that's been creeping up more as the season's gone along. So
yeah,
really kind of a concern here down the stretch. You've got to figure out a way to stir that stuff up.
And Tony, there's one person on defense that made some money tonight. David Hobbs made some money tonight.
Oh,
everybody keep that boy.
He's a nice player, man.
He was all over that field.
That's why when
he was having to play defensive tackle and linebacker.
When he's out early in the year, it's such a huge loss. And when he's playing and going, that's your hope next week. Because you're going to need guys like him to create pressure. Because I'm going to tell you something. Florida's offense, I don't know what's gotten into them, But they look way better than they have since Napier's been down there. What they're doing, this Ole Miss bunch, we know they're going to get carved up because they have no defensive players. But thank you, Randy. Good talking to you. John, how do you account for Matt and Bry? How do we account for this game of college football and how crazy it is? I mean, it's just an insane pursuit right now. It's insane.
Well, a lot of it has to do at the college level more than ever, I think, is how bad does somebody want it? So as simple as that. And that emotional element varies so much, and it factors into everything. You talked about Florida at the point of attack. One thing I always look for in games, early in a game, I look at particularly at how the offensive line is playing. Mm-hmm. If it's coming off the ball with force and if it's moving the defense, that's a really good sign. That tells me that whole team is really honed in. There's nothing exact about that, but it's just something I always look for. And I think about how Florida looked, as we've talked about quite a bit. I mean, that was the least amount of effort I've ever seen an SEC team give against Kentucky. Now, why would it suddenly play well against Ole Miss? Who knows? Maybe it's something as simple as this, that it just took so much abuse on social media and so much criticism for the way it played, and the criticism was very much deserved. So now it's trying to say, hey, we're not that bad.
Or maybe, Matt, they want to impress their next head coach. Kids read social media, Matt.
Yeah.
Kids know
they want to beat their next.
Or they want to beat their next coach.
They've heard all week that Ole Miss is a better program, that he wouldn't leave for there. And I think that's probably a juiced up crowd down there.
Yes,
because Florida doesn't go there very often, and then obviously the Kiffin stuff.
Yeah.
So last week in Lexington, I've said it before, nobody's ever excited to play a game at Kroger Field. So Florida just totally sleptwalking that game, and then you have things go against you early, and you just quit. And here they've kind of rallied, and give the interim coach some credit here. And now they get obviously going to be a 4-quarter game.
It's just a great sport, I mean, what we saw today in College Station is incredible. Oklahoma's played today, and John said it earlier, because it's one of the things Matt keyed on coming into the deal. We knew that New Mexico State today was going to take the ball away from Tennessee a couple times today, because that's how they play. And they did. Guy ball hawks and rips the ball out of the hands of our tight end in the first series. Then you had Aguilar have a ball sail on him. They take it away from you. That's just how they play the game. How do you account for Oklahoma not turning anybody over all year? And I mean getting physical with people. But then in their game here, they created a touchdown. Today, they create a touchdown. Today, they survive off a missed Bama kick. The same kind of thing. And these teams, it feels just like you're watching NFL football now. Because it's, there's somebody in here praising the Vols because they've lost to all top 10 teams. I don't even know what that means. I don't even. What does that even mean? I mean, that's not what we do here. Yeah, okay. If you can get to 9-3 at the end of the year, that will be a really nice season. It'll be an A coaching job with everything that's going on here. But this league right now is just the parody. South Carolina had zero reason to come out and play like that today. They've got 3 wins. Nothing said that was going to happen today. Nothing. And then you turn right around, and they made it disappear. And now the Vols next week have a real opportunity to end that streak, to put it to bed. It'll be the final year that we play annually with them. It would be apropos to put them down, and the Vols better win that game. And Florida looks really good on offense right now. This ball guy, they are moving the ball. But, of course, Ole Miss can't defend. And now Ole Miss got guys laying down on the field, Matt. Two consecutive plays. I love me some Lane Kiffin. Hi, welcome in.
Ole Miss's defense isn't any different than Tennessee's.
Well, they're statistically very similar. That's right. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's David Ackworth.
Hey, Ackworth. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. Well, first off, guys, we're going to learn this lesson one of these days, but you can't look at college football and play, what do they call it, where you're you're looking at some result of one game and determining what the result of another game is going to be as a result of that. This sport is so week to week now.
Yep.
And that it's, and I was laughing when y'all guys were talking all week long about how Florida's quit. And I'm thinking, yeah, they quit last week. They won't quit this week because they're going to go down there and they're going to have something to prove, and they're not going to get rolled out of there. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they win this game. Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if I'm not surprised with any game anymore. I don't know how anybody is, especially in a game between two SEC teams.
So
I mean, you look at this season, and this whole season could be flipped upside down on a half a dozen plays, and you could have the top of this league be the bottom of the league, and vice versa. That's how close this league is.
It's like watching the NFL. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's exactly like watching the NFL.
Yeah.
And going down there Saturday is going to be no different, no matter what the result of this game is. Ole Miss may come out in the second half and win this game 50-21. And it's not going to make our game any different because Saturday, next week, next Saturday, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new game. And to try to take one thing from one week and plan it's going to be happening the next week, I think it's a complete futility. However, there's one thing you can absolutely ensure, that a linebacker or defensive back blitz from the University of Tennessee will never get home. So you can go ahead and mark that down. No matter what. I'm telling you, Tony, I sent you a video earlier tonight, first half of the Tennessee game. You need to watch T-Lander on a blitz that he went on in the first half, that for some reason he goes on a blitz and decides to follow the left tackle way outside instead of going to the quarterback. It's like he thought the left tackle was the quarterback. You know what you call it 100% right. It's electric football sometimes with this team. It's like, where are you going? It's like you're not even going where the ball is. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I can't put my finger on it.
Hey guys, if I was a geometry teacher and I was trying to keep my kids active in school this week, middle school, what have you, grade school, wherever, I think I would use Tennessee's defense to teach about angles, Matt. I'm being dead serious. Like some of the things they do on a football field. The closest distance to 2 points is a straight line. I mean, there's so many.
They don't use the sideline.
Don't use the sideline.
And I know exactly what Dave's talking about because I saw T-Lander do that last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma. I think it probably has to do some kind of like QB contain where he's not really blitzing, but it looks so awkward. And I know exactly what kind of play he's talking about. I noticed it against the Sooners. I don't know. What our philosophy on defense, I'm still not sure exactly what we're trying to do. I know we're not executing it, but I just don't know what we're even trying to do a lot of times.
And poor Caleb Beasley back there, he got, the one pass play where he was covering and when they were backed up on their own end zone, poor kid, he looked like he just like he was all, arms and legs and just kind of flailing around, and then got completely juked by a running back out of the backfield where he just completely whiffed. And I'm just like, I'm like, what is going on? I mean, is there any instruction going on this football team? And then you turn around and watch some of these teams play defense, and it's night and day. At night and day. And with all of that, we're 3 plays from being, probably 9-1 or, at least 8-2. We're definitely 1 play from being 8-2. We're probably 2 plays from being 9-1.
And a couple plays.
And we blow on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really not good on defense. Yeah. In fact, Matt just said it. Us and Ole Miss are so watching the two teams play, they do similar things as what we do as Florida now takes a 24-20 lead on Loverboy Lane 3 seconds ago in the half. It's crazy, David. And I'll say one thing about Florida. So we had Bobby Wilder on the show this week, and when a coach of another team that's getting ready to play the team they're getting ready to play, because he was getting ready to play Kentucky, just unceremoniously says, oh, and by the way, Florida checked out last week, I guess we're all learning a lesson because I'm used to this. I'm used to teams checking out and not checking back in. But maybe in this modern era, we now have a thing where you can check out one week and check back in the next. Maybe that's what we're seeing now.
I think you're right. And I think what we're used to seeing are teams check out in the NFL. And those guys don't check back in.
Yes.
I think college is is so different. These are we forget sometimes these are kids.
I don't know, Dave. We had that last year. That the times we fired coaches here when those teams check out, man, they check out. That last year of Butch Jones, that was checkout city, Dave.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, you're definitely right about that. But I think I think what you're seeing, and let's be honest, Florida did this last year. They checked out early last year, and then towards the end of the year, they won they won like 3 of their last 4 games or something. So they did the same thing last year as they're doing this year. It's every week it goes to show you how it's not just this conference; it's everywhere. Look at Notre Dame having to kick a field goal to beat Northwestern. Georgia Tech had to kick a field goal to beat whoever they were playing this week. These are teams. These are teams in the top 15, top 10. This isn't this isn't a bunch of average teams that's beating bad teams. These are top 10 teams having to do this stuff every week.
How about Comrade Golish going out and losing today? And thank you, Dave. And then Memphis down there is saying "hold my beer" and they lose. There's just no accounting for this stuff, Matt Izzer. How crazy football is right now.
Did the group of 5 eliminate their playoff spot?
James Madison's going to grab that G5 spot now, it looks like, if they win out.
I love JMU. So great. The game's never been crazier. Matt, this checking out, checking back in, checking out, checking back in thing, and poor Texas, man. Poor Texas on offense. You talk about a tough watch. John, how do you account for all the talent they have on offense and they can't play offense? And their offensive line was supposed to be pretty good, by the way.
Steve Sarkisian is considered a top-notch offensive coach also. But here's one of I think a lot of it had to do with assumptions. It lost a lot in the offensive line, but I think you assume with Texas it's got good offensive linemen coming behind them because of its NIL budget. And because how it recruits nationally, and it's always, getting good players.
Yeah.
But the offensive line is not good. That's a big factor in it. Also, the receivers aren't as good as the receivers last year. And they lost one running back to injury, and all of that adds up. And Arch Manning hasn't been what anybody thought he was. He's playing better now, but he's not an elite quarterback.
No, what they do in these elite games is get the ball out of his hands quickly, out in the flat. That's their passing game. It's all they do. They don't let him do anything else, which, okay, whatever. They're down 14-3, 7 minutes and change to play in the first half in their game, as they're not putting up much resistance with the Florida Gators right now. And they've got a great defense, by the way. Texas does, but it's 14-3. We'll go back to the phones. It's a crazy, crazy sport. It is just it's fun, and it's wide open. And when we go to 9 games next year, it is truly going to be, you got to keep your head, quoting the great Buzz Peterson, a shout out to Ben Zorio, you got to keep your head on a swizzle. You really have to keep your head on a swizzle going forward. My friends at Walker's Painting, when it's time for that fresh coat, you better run. You better not walk to Walker's Painting, whether it's interior, exterior. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999, for over a quarter century across our Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, free estimates available. And you mentioned you heard about it here on Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction, and 10% off your first job. 865-688-1410. See the ad over at tclub.team. Walk, don't run. Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Easy for me to say. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in. Hello, you're on the air. Let's do this again, because I hear you there.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, welcome in. Go right ahead.
Hey, Tony. It's RD from Stony Creek. I've not called in a while.
Good to talk to you, RD.
Hey, buddy. I hope nobody else calls in about the uniforms, Tony. That burns me up. I don't care if they put them out there in pink uniforms. Sometimes, like my old buddy AB used to say, it's more about the Jimmies and Joes than it is the X's and O's, Tony. We are what we are at this point in the season.
Yeah, but what are we? We're kind of right there with everybody else. I mean, people are saying we're 1 or 2 plays away from being in the playoffs right now.
You're exactly right, and we're 1 or 2 plays away from being a 5-loss team if you look at it like that too, Tony.
Well,
I mean, it is getting more and more like the NFL.
That is true.
Hey, my question, can y'all tell me what Lane Kiffin's record is against Florida?
Did they lose to Florida last year, Matt? They did, didn't they?
Yes, they got beat. Yeah, and that's what actually knocked them out of the playoffs. That was their 3rd loss in Gainesville last year.
I think he's 0-2 against them at Ole Miss, and he was 0-1 against them at Tennessee.
That's
so
kind of remarkable. And he lost.
I don't think he's ever beat them.
Wow.
So how is this,
as a head coach,
this fan base in Gainesville, guys? How are they lusting over a coach that they can't even? He can't beat them when they were on the year they fired their head coach.
I mean, you're right. They've got a guy over there on the sidelines right now. It looks like me. That guy's follically challenged, man.
Hey, I hate to say it, guys. I mean, I know, a 3-loss season would be terrific, but I don't want to say the Florida game is a must-win, Tony, but it's a must-win with this program being in such disarray like they are down there in Gainesville right now.
I agree with that. You got to win next week, and I don't. And you guys are convincing me that it doesn't matter what happens tonight. You still have to win. As Arch Manning just threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life. God bless him. As we say in the South, God bless that young man. But he looked good doing it, so that does count. I don't get how Tennessee has invented ways to lose in Gainesville. Matt reminded me on our daily show this week, maybe it was Tuesday when I was feeling really good about the shift in line. He said, Tony, I got something for you. The Joe Milton year, the Vols went down there as a what, Matt? 4.5-point favorite. What was the number, Matt?
I think it was 5.5 for Phil Steele.
I mean, good gosh almighty. What are we doing?
Hey, Tony, I'll let you guys go. Get some other callers on there.
Love you, brother.
Say we need to go down to Gainesville, take care of business, and nothing would make me happier than to knock Vanderbilt and that Pavia out of the playoffs. Go Vols.
Thank you, my man. I have one small problem, though. Pavia is a guilty pleasure of mine because he plays so freaking hard. I don't know that they don't. I don't know that Kentucky doesn't get them next week. Kentucky's got a decent shot against them. This Boley guy has given Kentucky some life. He really has. This kid's a nice quarterback, nice player. Back to the phones we go. On a night where Florida has a 4-point lead, 24-20, over a Ole Miss team that's looking, for all intents and purposes, to really cement a playoff spot this evening, if they can get out of there and get a win. And also, Georgia's up 14-3 on a Texas squad that is going to teeter around with elimination here if they're not careful. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, welcome in.
Oh, I'm behind this team 100%. I think they can, build off today. I know things didn't go, as smoothly as they, maybe should have been at times, and build off of it, and they're gonna be all right. They're gonna get a win next week. They're gonna beat up on Vandy at home, and got that 1% chance. Don't let this team sneak in the playoffs.
Matt, do you feel that? Don't let this team sneak into the playoff?
They're not going in a playoff.
You don't let a wounded dog back up. Don't let them sneak in the playoffs.
John?
But there's no way they can get in the playoff.
John, there is still a mathematical chance. I mean, you can't say no chance. I mean, there's obviously a chance.
If you've got 3, you're going to let a 3-loss team, and if you compare schedules with other 3-loss teams, Tennessee's played an easier schedule. It's not happening. There's no way.
Well, it's not that there's no way. I mean, there's still a mathematical chance, John. That's what our caller's saying.
Well,
and
no,
if it happens, what our caller is saying is, don't let this team sneak into the playoffs. If I can couch what you're saying, sir, would that be a fair read on what you're saying here? Don't let this team sneak into the playoffs. Would that be a fair read on what you're saying?
Yes, we got a talented offense.
Yep.
And anybody that can score points.
Yep.
Has a chance.
Yep. Matt, do you think that's an accurate statement by this gentleman? Because we've proven that we can play with the very best of this league, Matt. Now, we haven't been able to get home in those games, but we stayed right there on the field with Alabama. We stayed right there on the field with Georgia, Matt. We stayed right there on the field with Oklahoma.
Yeah, you've been in competitive games against those teams. Your defense isn't good enough to win you a playoff game, and I just think the offense is too sputtering right now. You have too many just empty drives, and the turnovers are becoming a bigger issue each game. But I mean, if you all you gotta do is get in the field. If you could somehow luck your way into sneaking in, you have a puncher's chance because your offense could in theory face a team that they just match up really well against. So, but the odds of that are very slim. But if you go 9-3, you at least give yourself a chance.
But guys, with Tennessee's schedule
today, I feel like he takes the air out of it because
there's no way.
Yeah, they just ran the ball.
team we're playing.
You're right. They just ran the ball. You're right, sir.
Yeah,
they just ran the ball today, and they kept it vanilla, and next week, hopefully, they'll have some really good stuff for Florida.
What's the chances of McCoy coming back?
I mean, they talked about that this week. I'll believe McCoy's on a field when I see it at this point.
I've got one more thing, Tony.
Yes, sir.
That I've heard. When Danny adds this extra deck on the north side, I'm hearing maybe using the Green Acres flea market for parking and busing people in with all the buildings getting put, taking up the spaces.
Might be the greatest
downtown.
thing I've ever heard. The Green Acres shuttle, and Danny will charge you the low price of like $69.99 to park in Green Acres parking lot. Thank you. Incredible call. I think we need a few more cranes on Tennessee's campus would be my observation. What a great line. Let's go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. John, repeat after me. Tennessee is still alive for a playoff berth. I mean, it's faint. John, it's faint.
It's not alive for a playoff. It's not getting the playoff.
John,
don't even promote that.
John, I'm not promoting anything. I'm just saying they haven't been eliminated from the playoffs. They're not eliminated.
Come on. John's right. Come on.
My friends at TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics are so much more than a trucking company. They do everything relating to shipping, whatever your challenges are, from pillar to post, from front to back. Reach out to them. They're online at tldlogistics.com. And if you want to drive for them, they are hunting drivers at tldlogistics.com. Reach out and tell them that T to the B sent you. And listen, Living Vol fan, Alumni Hall is your one-stop shop for all the Vol fans on your shopping list this season. Nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree, whether it's a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for your man cave. Pop in and check them out. And Alumni Hall, man, they're just great partners of ours. That stuff that they laid out there for those kids today. And Amachi Brooke, when she picked it up yesterday, told me she was kind of crying at how sweet Beth Parks and them were to her. I mean, and what they did for the kids. I mean, my gosh. So whether it's a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for that man cave, they've got 3 locations in the Knoxville. They've got one in Bristol, one in Johnson City, one in Murfreesboro, and anywhere in the world, online at alumnihall.com. It's so easy to have a big orange holiday. And Yoshi Hee Ho from everybody at Alumni Hall, the ultimate volunteer shopping experience. As I go back to our phones, and yes, a full cup of coffee does me some good. Hello and welcome into our next call is Georgia. Now at the 2-minute timeout, as we call it in college ball, because we're not allowed to say 2-minute warning. At the 2-minute timeout, Georgia trails 14 Texas trails 14-3, and Georgia's on the move and on the groove and getting ready to add to that. So, hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, brother.
Hey, welcome in.
Hey, is Matt Dixon on one?
He's right there. Matt Dixon's right there.
Matt Dixon. So, Tony and I are about the same age, but I grew up in the Gibbs area, Matt Dixon. So, if you remember that. So, Matt, we love hearing you. Don't come home with a loss in the Florida game. If you come home limping from Gainesville, Florida, we got a problem. Let's be honest right now. Let's all be friends. We got a problem. That's unforgivable to come home from Gainesville, Florida, wearing an L on your chest. Are we clear?
Matt? Are we clear, Matt? Don't come home with an L on your chest, Matt.
Hello?
Matt doesn't. He's not selling for it. Thank you for the call, though. Again, one call per show.
I can't hear I can barely hear anything the caller said. I heard he's from Gibbs, but that's about all I could hear.
And then he said, "Don't bring a loss
I
home."
couldn't hear anything.
Really?
And something was unforgivable. I didn't hear what that was.
If you lose that game, it's unforgivable for you on the TLD Logistics phone line, and that we can't. Let me reset you guys. Hang on 1 second here. Oh man, just to spend a day in my world, y'all. With the stress of just trying to keep all the balls in the air. You just want to pop, you know? You just got to keep smiling, as Wet Willie said. Capricorn Records. Keep smiling. 865-200-5402. Huge loss in the music world today. R.I.P. Todd Snyder. An unbelievable artist. Unbelievable. As we get ready to go back to our phones, on a day where Josh Hypel has said about Boo Carter that he wasn't out on the field with the team today because he didn't do the things to the level that you're supposed to do them to. Matt, do you expect we've seen the last of Boo Carter, or do you think he plays again this year? What's your sense?
No, he's done at Tennessee. No, you won't see him again.
John asked an interesting question, which is something about Josh Hypel I would like to change. I would love for him to be more definitive and act more like a head coach and say that to the media tonight. Is that a fair thing to say, Matt? Because he should have said it to the media tonight. That's kind of what he's up there for, and it's kind of what the media is there for. Hey, he wasn't in the game today. He didn't play today. Word got out before the game that he was sort of MIA, AWOL, whatever you want to call it, and then he's not invited out, and then there was conflicting word as to whether or not he's on the sidelines, and then Hypel says, well, he wasn't with us today because he's not doing the things. So why not just say, hey, the guy's gone? Or maybe he's going to bring him, Matt. Maybe he brings him next week. It's very confusing.
I'd be stunned if he's on the travel roster next week. I don't know why Hypel wouldn't just come out and say that, but
I know
who knows.
I know the opponent's the opponent, but did they not play better on defense without him?
Brian,
well, he's a backup star. I mean, doesn't really affect anything. He's been a non-factor this year.
Brian, our defense is such a mess that how do you even answer that? You know? How do you even?
I just kind of thought it was addition by subtraction. I mean, they didn't allow a touchdown to the fourth quarter. Now, I know you played a bad team, but still, I mean, earlier they were allowing 17 and 20-something to UAB and the likes of those teams. But it seemed like they might have taken a step in the right direction, just a little bit. Not a huge step, but.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you played an awful team, Brian. I
know that.
They had no threat of a downfield passing game. And they know that he can't run the ball. Obviously, worst running team in the country. So
yeah, they make Alabama look like they've got a stout running game. How can Alabama, Matt, be that bad at running the football? How's that possible?
I think it's just the DeBoer and Grubb's system. I just don't think it's very, very physical up front, and they don't create a lot of that. It's basically a passing game. The lack of running game. It's been obvious all year, and it didn't get them beat like last week. But just not being able to run the ball is always going to get you beat at some point. Doesn't matter how good your passing game is.
Back to the phones we go at 865-200-5402. And if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix, one line is available for you. And we're going to be with you for 3 even here as we're halfway home with you on Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Watching along here, both the Florida and the Florida Ole Miss game and Georgia taking on Texas. And let me tell you something. When Texas comes in here next year, that is going to be so lit. A couple big questions about next year as we look at it, okay? Is Texas going to have Arch Manning at quarterback next year? Are they going to have the same head coach? It's a crazy, crazy time. And what happens in college football if Texas loses their head coach? And how does that upset the apple cart? Or the shift, all these people shifting around. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200. 5402, you're on the air. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tony, what's up, buddy?
Hey, welcome in.
Hey, I'm kind of disappointed you haven't mentioned Nico laying out of the game tonight. Not wanting to get his brains bashed out again.
Oh, I don't think he laid out. I think he's really hurt. I mean, I saw that game last week, and poor Nico, man. That what the father did to that poor kid. It just makes no sense to me. It never will.
Yeah, it's horrible. Well, the question was going to be, if you think he's really hurt, then never mind. But
yeah, he's
really
hurt.
The question is going to be, who's more of a coward? Hypel not answering questions, or Nico laying out of the game?
Well, I don't know if either one of those guys. I don't know if it's cowardly for Hypel not to say, but I just wish Hypel had that it gear where he'll look into the camera and go, "Hey, we're just not doing it." I mean, he's just not playing for us, and that's it for him. As Matt said, because we all know that's it for him. It should have been it for him back in July. You can't let a guy go AWOL on your team. You can't do that. But we'll see what happens.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen to the rest of the way out.
Yeah, on Nico, here's the thing. You could see it coming from a mile away, just like you could see that John Mateer was never going to stay healthy playing this schedule. And Arch Manning just got absolutely just smashed back at the 7-yard line. Matt, Georgia kind of grew into the season, and they're gonna roll into the playoffs, aren't they? They kind of grew into the season here. Their defensive line looks, as last couple times out, they look like a Georgia defensive line all of a sudden, Matt. Of course, they're playing against Texas's offensive line.
Texas does that to a lot of teams.
That's a good point.
Texas can't block anybody.
Yeah, I stopped myself.
They're awful up front.
I stopped myself.
But no, yeah, Georgia's going to go 11-1. We'll see how it shakes out with Atlanta or not, but they're probably better off not playing in Atlanta for the title game.
Yeah.
I think they're playing Georgia Tech in the Dome this year, which is really disappointing.
Yes. And I love that Tennessee's playing Georgia Tech in their building next year. I'm 100% for that and not against it. By the way, we will be on with you on Monday night. I'll be here for Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime as soon as Tennessee and Rice goes final. And Brian is proud to report that Rice does have a win of consequence on their schedule, simply because you've never heard of the school. Brian, who is one of Rice's wins against, and have they won since, or are they still stuck on one win under the ice handler, Rob Lanier?
They have a win over the College of Biblical Studies located in Houston, Texas. So that's a crosstown, that's a neighborhood ball game right there. So that's how I guess they came to play them. And I believe that's their only win.
As it's 14-3 now at the half, as Texas chooses just not to run another play, the shadow of their own goal line. 14-3, they at 7-2 need a big half because they're not going to beat that A&M bunch at the end of the year. And they're a team at 9-3. with the box office Manning and with the Ohio State loss that Mike could talk their way into the playoffs, plus they're the Texas Longhorns. Matt, you said something really interesting early on, and that's that Oklahoma had, other than vanity, why would they rush Mateer back to play in that Texas game rather than just absorb the loss and go to the committee and say, hey, our quarterback was injured. That's why we lost the game. They could have gotten a mulligan there, Matt. Plus, they played a brutal schedule.
Correct. They could have. Again, that would have basically just been like a half loss counted against them. I think.
Yeah.
The way that the rest of the season's played out, but no, I mean, I appreciate them doing that because it's the biggest game of their season, and you want him out there. So I appreciate it from that perspective. But I mean, it's not college football what it used to be. I mean, it's a playoff sport now, and you got to make the playoffs. And with their schedule, they were never going undefeated.
Yep.
And that was a game that you kind of had a free mulligan in, and you kind of wasted it. And they still might be able to sneak in if they beat Missouri and LSU, which isn't a given with how inept their offense is.
No.
But they're certainly in position. They've got 2 incredible wins on the road this year.
Mateer can't play at all. He was not very good today. He made. I'm gonna tell you something. Middle.
It's his legs, Brian. That's beating. That they're beating people with.
You're right, Brian. But the middle of the fourth quarter, they were bragging on him, and he was talking to the sideline reporter. Overheard him saying, "Guys, with a touchdown here, we could put this team away. We'll put this. These guys will quit. We'll blah 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 blah." And they could have gone up 2 scores. He threw one of the more ill-advised balls back against his body in the middle of the field that could have, should have been, would have been taken back against a bunch of other teams in some other games. Mateer does crazy things on the football field. But, hey, they came in here and beat us with him at quarterback, so made a liar out of me because I didn't think that was going to happen. Conexial, Knoxville's Transportation Logistics Tech Company, here on your Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Proud sponsor of your My 20 Drive of the Game right here on your Garza Law 5th Quarter. This is when I turn it over to the great Brian Hartman, who shares with me what the Conexial Drive of the Game happens to be. And I'm going to let Brian Hartman cue that up. But before we do, I want to remind you that my friends at Conexial, right out of downtown Knoxville, they all over the country are helping drivers and fleets become more efficient, making them safer, making our roads safer, driving down the bottom line and making profit better for you and helping you in the bottom line, I should say. So take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores. Your drivers are happy. You maximize your profitability. Everybody wins. KONEXIAL.com, KONEXIAL.com. It's just like an Amachi Tailgate Saturday. Everybody wins. And Brian, what is our Conexial Drive of the Game today, my friend?
I'm going to go with Star Thomas, his 21-yard touchdown that gave the Vols a 28-3 lead late in the third quarter, I believe is when it was.
Yep.
They went 11, I guess, 75 yards, 11 plays, 414.
Yep.
And it sort of got the second half off to a good start.
Yep.
And I think I like getting Star getting in the end zone. So I'll go with that one. He had a 21-yard, nice little run, and I was kind of hard on him there in our group text, but I kind of like to see him get in the end zone.
Hey, Matt, what did you think of Merklinger's play today?
I mean, it obviously wasn't very good. I don't know. I mean, you kind of, it's again, we can talk. It kind of goes with the Boo Carter thing with Hypel. He's not going to change. He's too nice of a guy. He doesn't want to do things like to upset players at all.
No,
even when they deserve it. And Merklinger is the backup, so he always goes in second.
And he can't play.
But it's clear he can't play at this level.
No.
And I mean, at least they got McIntyre in the game, but you didn't really do a lot with him either. But that's just who Hypel is. He's not. He doesn't have that cutthroatness about him. Now, maybe that ultimately is is a bad thing, but it's Merklinger just can't play at this level. He needs to go to Georgia Southern or Georgia State, or go down to the G5 next year.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be funny. If Merklinger or Matt was our court, I'm not trying to pile on the guy, but you just play the what if game, right? What if Joey football is not there? What's our record? If you had to throw Merk out there, what do you think? What do you think the number would be?
You have at least 4 losses for sure, and probably about 5. You might have 5,
4 and 6 maybe. You're probably 4 and 6.
You're not that bad, but
you're not. Directional school. Brian.
By this point in the year, McIntyre would be the starter for sure.
Hey guys, that Arkansas bunch today, when that LSU quarterback doesn't make the show, and they go out there and squander another game, is this some kind of are the polls aligning for Bobby Petrino here? I mean, he can't win a game. He can't win a game.
Every loss is by like one possession or less, like a one possession loss.
And he can't win a game. It's incredible.
Fantasy football. He's got a nice fantasy football team now.
And I got time for it as we go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. Drive Life with Connexial and go Vols go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Zach and Elizabeth, and how you guys doing tonight?
Baby.
Yo. The night, I don't really take much from tonight's game, but I do want to ask you guys, in reality, do you think there's any way that we don't get carved up in the middle of the field by DJ Lagaway next week? I mean, I just feel like we're going to get carved up in the middle of the field.
I mean, if I were them, I would attack us in the middle of the field. Why wouldn't you?
It just seems like a big gaping hole that never gets addressed.
Yeah, we're what you call spatially challenged. You know?
The fact that you can't make any adjustments, any personnel adjustments, is a little worrying, and that worries me for Matt Dixon, because if we lose, like the caller from Gibbs said, he's going to have to get Jennifer Williams to find him a home in Gainesville, I guess, because he's not allowed to come back to the area.
Do you like that fella that keeps calling? And he called Matt Dixon. He called him Matt. I forget how.
Diskin.
Matt Diskin is what you called you, Matt. That gentleman.
I hate Matt. Here, I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
Oh, he's feeling good, Matt. He's feeling good.
Matt, you got a lot riding on next week's game, Matt.
Yeah, you really do, Matt. You better not bring an L home. And that's what he said to you, Matt. It was you. And I'm glad to hear Matt getting a little heat. Because we had a couple people come by the tailgate today that really wanted to see Matt, that really love Matt. And I love Matt. And the guy was like, so tell me about Matt. What's he like? And, what's he, blah, 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 blah. What's this, what's that? And I'm so goofy, I hugged the poor guy and spilled coffee down his back.
Oh, great.
Well, I had a cup of coffee in my hand. I wasn't paying attention, and I got coffee all over this poor fella's white shirt. Matt's
That's okay.
biggest fan.
As long as he got Matt, I'd say he'd probably trade Matt Dixon inside info for a coffee for a second degree burn.
I told him. I said, the greatest thing about Matt is when we do the late night games, and Matt likes to have, shall we say, a sip of, things that are dark, and might even be brewed in Kentucky for all we know. But when Matt starts that though, and he starts sniping at all of us, he'll go to me. He'll go, "Yeah, Basilio, just like you, just like your boy Pavia, just like your boy." And he'll just start ripping me. He'll start ripping Brian. I mean, I love Matt. Matt's incredible.
Well, I do want you to cool it on this Pavia exuberance, because
he's a hell of a player, man.
You could be. I mean, yeah, I get it. We'll see. I just they got to figure out something, because he could carve us up too. And then Danny White is going to have to figure out, he's going to have to use those cranes for something else. Maybe they can put some seating and just have hanging seating for the field, because I don't know if we lose these next 2 games. I mean, I know there's a waiting list.
No, it's 31,000. It's 31,000 now. I mean, it was absurd when it was 10,000. Now he doesn't call it a. Now he calls it a a list of notice or something. I mean, Danny, God, Danny needs to get off Twitter, is what Danny White.
And you can buy your way up the list apparently, but those cranes, cranes could hold a box that could seat 10 to 15 medium-sized humans.
So you just put a crane up there, a crane on the side of the stadium.
Sure. I mean, that's move it, and the seats would move. It'd be like a IMAX experience. But
incredible.
I am just I'm so, I don't want to say nervous, but this being our last regular scheduled appearance at the Swamp, I feel like there's so much riding on it. I know not really, even though we do have, according to that one caller, a Dumb and Dumber, you're telling me there's a chance % of getting into the playoffs. But if we get beat the way I think that Florida can beat us next week, that will really bum me out. So
as it should. And and Florida's not going. I don't know. I can't. And thank you, Zach Attack. On 4th down and goal, Lane Kiffin they had a really nice call, and Chambliss just threw a dirt ball, which again, Matt, college football, man, game of imperfection.
Ole Miss took the whole second half kickoff, went right down the field, converted to 4th down twice.
Yep.
And then couldn't score, and they took 6+ maybe 7 minutes off the clock doing it.
865-200-5402. The thing about next week's game, those of you that are in the we're out of the playoffs and I'm checked out crowd, which is nobody, by the way. People say they are. Now, it might have taken a little bit of her oomph away. Like, I want Hypel to have some more oomph, but he just doesn't have it. I want him to be a little more in your face, a little more like a Barnes maybe, or Vitello. Barnes at a press conference will say anything. You listen to him. I mean, he's fun to listen to. He's like, I'll talk about this player tonight not getting it done. I'll do this or I'll do that. You're the head coach. I mean, you're allowed to do that. You don't have to. And Barnes doesn't personally attack people. He'll just call it like it is. I'm telling you right now, if that was Rick Barnes tonight, that press conference with Boo Carter, he'd have said, "You've seen the last of him." Well, actually, he wouldn't have had him on his team anyway. But I just don't get. I just, for the life of me, don't get that. This Florida game, Matt, next week. I mean, you said it the whole time anyway. It's going to be interesting because it's down there. I hope to God that things played in the day, Matt, because I do not want to play a night game down there.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yes, you want as early kick as possible. So I guess in that 3:30 window.
Mm.
Yeah, you do not want a night game down there.
I volunteer us for the 9 a.m. slot. Let's just make it. Let's just have, let's have breakfast with the Vols.
It's about dumb that we don't know yet.
You will know Monday.
I mean, just tell us when the game is already.
I wonder if they'll announce it later tonight. They've done that before. After these games are played, maybe we'll get it before we go off the air. Once these games are played, Bri, they'll come out with something. What's you guys guess? Because there's only 4 choices next week. Texas and Arkansas. Texas is losing right now. Arkansas lost last week. I think that's the 4:30 game. The Vanderbilt Kentucky game. Kentucky won today. Vandy Kentucky's going to be the primetime game, I believe. I believe that game's on ABC. The game in Nashville next week. I know that makes no sense, but it'll be where Georgia and Texas is. Does our game go to this slot, Matt? This ESPN 7:15 slot? It might. It just might.
Yeah, I would, especially if Georgia wins tonight, the way that game's going. I think Tennessee at Florida is probably a more appealing game than Arkansas and Texas, because Arkansas, I think they've lost 7 or 8 straight.
Yeah.
Texas will. I just think it's more appealing to do this game, a game in Gainesville, as Florida gets out of their own end zone,
out to the 40-yard line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I like the tackling here.
It's going to be a 4-quarter game.
Do they use
Ole Miss is in serious trouble at home.
Yes. Yes. Lagway from the shadow of their own end zone after Chambliss threw a dirt ball. They just threw an out, and their big receiver there just turned it up, made 2 linebackers look like our guys. They don't use the sidelines, but Lane puts no money in his defense. They did last year, but there's no money in their defense this year. Here's the thing, and then we'll get back to our phones. This needs to be said. If that Oklahoma team finishes at 10-2 and gets home, it'll be really ironic because Oklahoma will have had the exact season that Tennessee had last year. They'll have some really loud wins, and they will have done it with their defense and worked around their offense. That's what they did today. They had Alabama in a blender today. And the passing yards for Alabama, kind of like Tennessee last year. You go up and down the field, but you get down around the red zone last year against us, you're not scoring. That's why you made the playoffs last year. That's exactly what Oklahoma did today to that Alabama team. That's what Florida just did with Ole Miss. I'm not going to let you score. You win games doing that. It's an interesting thought, guys, isn't it? What Oklahoma's doing right now, because they've got Missouri left, and their last game is LSU.
At home.
I
think both of those are at home, right?
Yeah, those feel like 2 winnable games to me. That'd be an unbelievable coaching job if they navigate that schedule and go 10-2. Unreal. One hell of an accomplishment. And you know what? The win in Neyland Stadium for them is the one that kicked it all off, because it's not possible if they didn't come in here 2 weeks ago and win that game. It is not possible for them to have this finish.
Kate Neyland launches teams and programs and coaches.
I give them credit, because really they should not have won our game. But I give them credit.
They really shouldn't have won today either, but that's that's their way to win. They created some turnovers and scored off of them.
Yep.
And then their defense is, one of the 3 or 5 best units in the country, and created some havoc against a one-dimensional offense.
8-6.
That's a really impressive win to go into Tuscaloosa and win that game. That's really impressive.
That's the DeBoer's first loss in Tuscaloosa in 2 years.
865-200-5402. And if Bama figures out a way not to get to the playoffs, Kellen DeBoer would be well served to try to get involved with one of these jobs that are open, because it's not going to happen for him down there. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, gentlemen? This is Q.
Hey, Q. Welcome in.
Hey, I've been watching the Ole Miss game, and Kiffin does some stuff. I love him as much as the next guy, not as much as Mark and Colombo, but who does? But he does some stuff that would frustrate me as a fan. But anyways.
Lane Kiffin? Oh, yeah, he does crazy things. There's no question. He does bits sometimes. Yep.
With kind of the close of the 2 weeks between, everybody chewing on the Oklahoma game, I think it's very much revisionist history. We kind of romanticize that 2022 team, and rightfully so, for a lot of great accomplishments. And two things can be true. My comments towards this year's team, aren't a knock on either of the teams, but we really are. And I know some people call in negative. We're also a couple plays away from being 5 wins, but we really are a couple missed field goals away, in a real way, to only have 1 loss. And if you look back at the 22 season, we went to overtime against Pittsburgh, which that game gets overlooked quite a bit. I mean, McGrath kicks a knuckleball that goes through the goalpost against Alabama, and in that game, Hendon Hooker, which I'm not knocking him, he put the ball on the ground, and Alabama's defense scored a touchdown in our, on our own side of the field. And then obviously the South Carolina collapse. And now no, that's not necessarily an excuse for this year. And there's obviously Hypel's making north of $9 million. He deserves to be critiqued. The defense is unacceptable, even though they have lost 2 All-SEC, probably an All-American corners, which does make a difference. And I know everyone's had concerns about the transfer portal, but and I don't think it's large majority of the fan base, but I think we have a great coach in Hypel. And when we look at past years, even comparing them to this year, which I was just guilty of, are we now at the point in college football where we can only look to last year to even have a standard of anything to look at? And 5 years ago, there were 4 teams in the entire country, sometimes maybe 5, that you knew were going to win the national championship, and nobody else was going to even compete with them. And last year I thought 12 teams was good, but aside from my bias toward Tennessee and trying to be objective, if you were at a 16-team playoff now, let's say Tennessee was a 15, 16 seed, man, the way these games go now, I think would really be up for grabs in a 16 seed college football playoff. And Tony, I think you said this, excuse me, Mr. Basilio, I got to show you the proper respect you deserve. No, call me Tony, man. I think you said 2 years ago, you said when this starts with these SEC teams that make the playoffs, you said these coaches are going to just get turned and burned. And I think that piece of prophecy that you made is coming into fruition, and it's wild. And I think Tennessee needs to be content right now with Hypel, and not only content, and nothing, college football playoff or anything like that is not going to take away from me the joy of it being Florida week here when this game's over with Florida and Ole Miss. Nothing's going to take that from me.
Are you kidding me? I totally, amen, man. And amen to your call, and I appreciate your call. And Q, great hearing from you. Here's the thing about the sport right now, and we just have to come to grips with this. And I'm coming to grips with this about Hypel, too, because I want my panel's thoughts on this. When you go to 9 games next year, he has got to tighten up his processes. You have got to quit beating yourself, because you're going to have more opportunities now to beat yourself, because you're going to play in one more game of consequence. But the thing we've seen in this league is that you're going to have more games of consequence, because this league is spending more money now than ever before on these rosters, and it's going to continue to go up. Because Vanderbilt has given every team in this league a taste that it's possible. Now, all the teams won't be built the same. Some teams are going to rely on older Power 5 players instead of going and rating Group of 5 rosters, which is what Vanderbilt's done. That's what Vanderbilt's done. Vanderbilt's gone after older Power 5 players, and they're a one-year wonder this year, what they're doing. They're a one-year wonder. It doesn't mean it's not valid, though. It's very possible to do it.
They're Diego Pavia-driven, I think.
Sure they are. But, Bri, here's my belief about Josh Hypel. If they don't clean up the little things, I'm talking about this Perlotti guy committing a personal foul every freaking game we play in. He looks like he's going to be a nice player. Matt, that guy right now, as a freshman, is like a human personal foul. He's doing it in every game, Matt. And he's a nice player. He's flying around out there. I mean, I think he's going to be a nice player. On our defense, anybody that can fog up a mirror at linebacker that can run around a little bit and make a play looks like a nice player. So, but the penalty committed right in front of Josh Hypel on special teams tonight, I mean, the guy's 20 feet out of bounds. Almost clipped Hypel.
I don't think that was Perlotti. I think that was somebody else.
No, I'm not saying that was him. I'm saying you got to clean that stuff up. You have got to clean that stuff up. If you're going to be a team that's in the playoffs semi-consistently in this league when we go to 9 games, the little things are really going to get magnified. And this guy, to this point, being a non-little thing coach, Matt, kind of scares me. And I don't know if it's a fair thing to say out loud, but those are my thoughts.
Well, you beat yourself too much that, make the other team have to beat you. And that's what's been frustrating this year is Tennessee didn't really, you should have beat Georgia. You beat yourself in Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma again. And that's what's frustrating because the margins are so much smaller going forward. and every game is in this league is just so competitive. And we've seen the numbers of how many just one possession games there are and just a margin of victory that, those little things, they matter a whole lot more. They're magnified, and you can't have wasted possessions. You can't give teams extra downs and just all those things that will get you beat once or twice a year if you don't clean it up. So it's very valid.
And Georgia, by the way, is running around like their hair's on fire. They're teeing off on poor Texas right now. Florida, meanwhile, has moved the ball, and they're back in their Matt. What happened to their drive? They're back in their territory.
Well, they punted it back to Ole Miss, and then Ole Miss
got it back.
Got back-to-back sacks. Florida did on Ole Miss, so that they're just blitzing Ole Miss like crazy, and they're not seeing it well at all.
I'm focusing on the show.
Ole Miss is really rattled. You can tell their game plan didn't work, and they're kind of scrambling right now.
Do we bring the noise, Matt, at Florida next week? Do we do that blitz that never gets home? Because David Ackworth, I know he's going to get down there. He loves seeing that.
I'm sure we'll see it plenty. We really need our front four to get home with that. We need to not be able to blitz. Not that we cover necessarily well anyway, but we got to contain Lagway and keep him in the pocket.
So a hell of a punt from Florida down to the 12-yard line, covered very well by one of their gunners. Flowers and Moore made a nice play. It's 24-20. It's late in the third quarter, and Florida has a lead late in the third here. And if you'd have told Gonzalez that this week after the way they looked last week, I think he would have said, you are out of your damn mind. But that's major college football. Lane Kiffin, it's being reported, and he's going to be asked questions about it, win, lose, or draw tonight. Are you involved with the Florida job? Because it's starting to leak out into the ether. It's going to be a thing. Just like my friends at Dos Equis go for Dos. Because, look, if Florida scores here, they probably will have to go for Dos. No? Yes, they will. Let me think here. Yeah, so I can work it into my seg. No, they're going to kick the extra point to make it 3. What am I saying? Although with Kiffin, who knows? Kiffin's a little on the nutty side. My friends at Dos Equis Lager Especial, a golden Pilsner style beer. The choice of hops is what and you will taste the difference. You will taste the difference. It's a well-balanced composition, smooth, clean finish. Party guest, always invited, never overstays his welcome. And stock up on Dos Equis and enjoy college football when you go for Dos Cervezas Mexicanas, 2025 White Plains, New York. Shout out to D. Wayne. Shout out to Blair. You all for taking care of the kids today. Thank you so much. That's a great thing you guys did today. As we go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. This Florida Ole Miss game is a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. And this Texas-Georgia game is a lot less interesting than I thought it would be. I thought Texas would put up a fight tonight, but they're getting just mauled in this game. Hello and welcome in. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Richard. Welcome in.
Oh man, beautiful day, beautiful night. So I'm like Matt, man. We won and the Gumps lost, but yeah. So it was kind of funny how it was a carbon copy of our game. How they ended up losing as well, making a lot of mistakes. But first of all, Tennessee game. I remember earlier in the year, Tony, when I was watching Ole Miss play a really horrible Washington State team, and they had to come back and won by a field goal in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, sometimes you just have these games where these teams just don't have the amount of intensity it takes just to really just be completely sharp the whole game. But yet, in our game, Tony, it was comfortable. There was never anywhere close to any doubt from quarter to quarter of any part of that game. And we went through the motions. And the reason why I know it seemed like we were in the motions a little bit, we had a very vanilla passing game. Matt, you were there. I don't know how well you got to see it from up your seats. The passing game, you may have a better advantage of what we did on TV. But, we've been dialing up great passing plays against every SEC team. And this game was kind of just a basic vanilla passing game. So it just tells me that, this was all about just enough. We're going to win this game. We're going to rest a lot of people. on the defense that didn't play today. And we're getting ready for the last two games, Florida and Vanderbilt. How do you feel about that?
Matt, what do you think? Vanilla passing game today.
Yeah, very much. There was almost no downfield passing game at all. You had Brazel kind of just wide open early, but that wasn't even where Aguilar was looking. You didn't do a whole lot downfield. It very much felt that they were just not doing much there. It was really windy, too. I don't know if they talked about it on TV. I know the ball fell off the tee twice, but it was really windy, too, so it wasn't a great day for passing anyway. But, yeah, we were very vanilla with the passing game. We didn't really try a whole lot and just wanted to kind of get the game over with, especially there in the second half.
And generally, Richard, in these games, we've been better under this regime in terms of putting these teams away. It's kind of been a hallmark of Hypel. But you are going to have some games like this, and that Kitzelman turnover to start things kind of set the tone. They were just sort of, Brian said sluggish earlier. Sluggish is a pretty good word to describe what Tennessee was today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And, again, a lot of the yards we gave up there in that whole fourth quarter, Tony, we were playing guys I didn't even know we had on the roster. I was looking up and I was like, who are all these defensive line? I've never seen some of the kids they had out there. And now all the DBs were like freshman kids and they were all skin and bones. You could tell they ain't been in the weight room very much. And, so I think some of the fan overreaction on some of the things is because we had a lot of third stringers out there,
and
young kids, and they're
gambling,
just playing, man.
And gambling, Richard, and gambling. But God,
you're
right.
You may laugh, but I think it's a positive thing for the defense that they didn't give up the first stringers. Pretty much, they didn't give up a touchdown in the game, and I don't care if you're playing air.
Hell, you got a red zone stop. I don't care who's out there. You got a red zone stop.
Yeah, several, and you held them several times in your own territory.
Christ, it's awful.
But yeah, so I like I said, I'm not taking a lot. I was following along Vol Nation throughout the thing without really commenting and a whole lot, and I was just like, man, Tony, I'm telling you, the money in football now, and the money going to players, the money to coaches, the playoff, it is unfortunately it is ruining the majority of not just Tennessee but most fan bases. It is now it's one focus. If you're not in that playoff, everything else is lousy and it's done. And I'm like, we've never, done this in college football. I mean, most of the seasons at Tennessee has ended with us doing what? Going to a Florida bowl game or something. I mean, so I think it's a little unfair that now all of a sudden, we're trying to put all these expectations just on one thing, and if it not there, it's a complete failure for the rest of the year. And to me, it's ruining sports and the appetite of people, and it's just, I don't know, man. What do you think?
It's very frustrating. But Richard, I appreciate you. I've just resigned to the fact that these are kids playing football still. I think it's fine they're getting paid. The coaches are way overpaid. The athletic directors make way too much money. People around it make way too much money, so the kids should be able to get some. I wish they would come up and figure out a way to collectively bargain, which is what Tennessee's athletic director says, and he's right. I wish they would figure out a way to have guaranteed contracts and stop all this free agency, because really it takes away from what is a beautiful thing that I've seen down through the years, which is a former teammate comes into town and all these former players that live around here, they all go out and eat somewhere. They'll go down to Calhoun's, they'll go to the Copper Cellar, and they tell stories. And what's it going to be like? I heard Mike Keith today talking about a kid from New Mexico State that was on his 5th team. How in the world do you do that? And how many credits have you accrued when you're playing for 5 football teams? I mean, I know we don't talk about school anymore as Ole Miss takes a lead now early in the fourth quarter. This is a wild football game.
Lane's had to burn 2 timeouts.
Do you like him, Bri, the managing of the games? As Georgia throws an interception, And Texas is going to get
a bad interception.
I mean, what in the world? The quarterback play in the Georgia-Texas game has been very SEC level. And that is to say, we've seen some crazy quarterbacking in this league so far. And, Matt, I'm going to ask you a question about Joey Aguilar here momentarily. If we're concerned about him and the turnover on the road next week, if that's a fair thing to wonder out loud about, or if that's an unfair thing to wonder about. I just don't get what we're doing in major college sports anymore, and I just don't get the relationship between the fan and the dollar either. Why are we charging fans so much money for these tickets when we're making more money off television than we ever have? These schools are acting like they're poor, and they're not. I mean, this is modern-day Babylon, what we're doing in this sport. Like Richard said, it's all become about the dollar. You know what it's about for me? It's about our community. It's about the fact that we get together after every game. Somebody told me, Tony, if you put your thing behind a paywall, you know how much money you can make? You know what I said? That's not me. I'm not here to make as much money as I can make. I'm really not. If I have a house and I have a car I can drive and food in my refrigerator and a guitar that's in tune, what the hell do I need? But I don't have Danny White's mentality. I'm not trying to build a student section on top of where it says VOLS. I mean, what do you provide? You provide those kids with, like, is it an observatory? And then at night games, you can turn around and look up in the sky and look at the moon during your 5-minute commercial timeouts? I mean, what are we doing? Anyway, the flyover today was incredible, by the way, Matt. Those 35s, Matt, were so low to the ground today. Did you notice how they like buzzed the top of the stadium?
Yeah,
they were
awesome, they were really
man.
low. They made sure to let you feel it. Yeah, that was cool.
Awesome. I've got a great video.
Haven't had those for about a month.
I've got a great video of me screaming "Go!" when they're directly above us, and I'll release that on Monday on the blog. It's an incredible, seriously. I give you some play-by-play on it. And I sound very nasally and, shall I say, very Yankee on it. Sound like a garlic breath Yankee, breaking it down scientifically. It was great. Hey, Alan, thank you for your contributions, man. WeShipFloors.com, Alan. Helping us out with the kids this weekend. You're good people. You and your lovely wife, your son, y'all are good people. You're a valued part of our dysfunctional radio family. Contractors, homeowners, listen to me. WeShipFloors.com is here for you. The pricing is insane. They are the manufacturer. Super Core Floor. It's incredible. 128 different choices in the Super Core Floor. When it comes to water-resistant flooring, it's the best on the market. You know how we know? Because Alan, he worked. He knew all the other ones. Go watch the YouTube video when he takes a piece of whatever it is. It's a type of metal. I think it's iron. And he goes boom, boom, boom. He hits their floors, dents all in it. He hits his floor, nothing. And he pounds on his floor. Kind of like Georgia's defense been pounding on Texas tonight. But Texas now has it deep in Georgia territory with an opportunity. Meanwhile, it's 27-24 in the Florida game, just underway in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss with a 3-point lead. It's wild. My friends at WeShipFloors.com, they'll ship anywhere in the country for free. They're based out of Johnson City. They sell worldwide. The Super Core Floor, you got to check it out. Living Vol fans, of the Vol fan, by the Vol fan, for the Vol fan, for anybody listening to us around the country, free shipping. And remember, there is a sale going on through the Thanksgiving holiday right now. You mention Tony Basilio, you get 45% off. The promo code, Tony B. You put the promo code Negadave in, and you pay 10% more. You get 35% off. And we had a couple simpletons this week, Matt, that actually paid 35% off mentioning Negadave. You don't think we have some simpletons out there, do you, Matt? Telling Alan they appreciate the show.
I love it. That's really good.
I mean, we have and Alan sent me a screenshot and said,
"That's hilarious.
You are a simpleton."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's go back to our phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tone. How you and the boys doing this
Doing
evening?
great. Thank you.
Man, y'all have hit on so many topics and things that I wanted to hit on. But like what Richard just said, talking about the money, I seen an article, I guess it was on Twitter, somebody posted about how these schools are pricing out the common fan, like the blue-collar working fan. And you've got, like, I mean, I'm going to say it, I know people that sit in the hoity-toity section, and they're usually gone by halftime of nearly every game. Every game. To pay that much to just to say you have that seat, I guess, it's utterly ridiculous, man. But as I'm saying that, the ticket waiting list has jumped to 50,000 now, is what I'm being told by Danny Dimes. So it's went from 26 to 36. It's up to 50,000 waiting for season tickets now.
Poor Danny. When
your regular working common fan barely can afford to go to 1 or 2 games a year.
What they call a waiting list at UT is like this. When you call over there and you say, "Hey, do you guys sell season tickets?" They take your name and put it down, and they say you're on a waiting list. I'm not kidding you. That's what they're doing, and it's silly. It's silly and it's idiotic.
Exactly idiotic. But the thing that you hit on that I really want to touch, where you were talking about how Hypel, you wish he would conduct himself a little more like Rick Barnes with this Boo Carter thing. I think he would have gotten so much more respect from his players. I'm not saying they don't respect him, but when all this stuff happened, if he'd have nipped it in the bud when it first started happening and said, this is not something we're dealing with. You're done. You're gone, son. It's been great. We've tried everything in the world we can with you, but it ain't going to work out doing this. You're gone. Go wherever you want to go, but it ain't going to be here. Take your ball and go home. If he would have done that, I think the team would have respected him so much more, because I've heard you all season talk about how much Kitzelman just could not stand him and how the leadership council really, a lot of them didn't want him there, but he was there anyway. And it's just, I don't know, man. He comes off as meek on the sideline, like this. Gosh darn it, why didn't we get that call? Gosh darn it, why didn't this happen? And you'll see him drop an F-bomb or something like that from time to time. But get in an official's ass. Take a 15-yard penalty every now and then. And that's what I really can't stand about it at times. But watching Florida play right now, man, they're playing their ass off. I thought that team was dead in the water after the beating they took from Kentucky last week. And it's right on cue with what everybody said. Florida's waking up just in time for us to come to the swamp. So this team better strap it on tight next week, man. I'm not kidding. Because if you go down there, like the caller said, you better not come back with a nail. That old boy was so dead set on that. He called twice. He called you twice to let you know not to come back with an A.
He might call a third time. He might call a third time before it's over, for all I know.
He's probably on hold right now, ready to tell me I better not come back with a nail. I mean, he's probably heard this, and he's in Gibbs, So I mean, I ain't that far from him. But still, Matt Dixon, don't you come back from the swamp with a nail now.
I'll tell you one thing about it.
No, I'm not, because I'm not going. I swore off Gainesville after 2013.
Boys, I'm telling you
no way in hell I'm going back down there.
They're probably giving tickets away down there if they lose this game in heartbreak fashion tonight. I just about bet it. But anyway, it's been a fun show, guys. I'm gonna sit here and keep listening. I love y'all.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, my brother. Good talking to you.
If Florida loses this game, and it's hard fought, but they come up short, they'll be 3-7. And
they're done, Brian.
I gotta wonder if they'll have any fight left.
No fight.
Because if they lay it all out to this week, there's a school of thought in my mind that they might not have anything for next week at all, regardless of who they're playing.
Hey, Matt, this Aguilar guy's starting to cough the ball up too much for me. I'm just going to say it into a microphone for our SEC road game next week.
Texas is in the end zone. It's 14-9, and they kick in the extra point.
Yep.
And they make it.
That was
14-10.
To Matt's point, just a horrible, awful pass from a kid at Georgia who's up and down like a lot of quarterbacks in this league, and that's the kind of stuff that keeps teams in games. Matt, our quarterback and the interception is a little scary to me. And I know one of them wasn't his fault today.
The lobs down the middle of the field
really scary.
You can't keep doing those, and he did it again tonight.
Nope.
And they did it twice against Oklahoma.
Yep.
I mean, those are killers, and I think he's got 10 interceptions on the year now, which is
good.
By far the most of a Hypel quarterback, and I think it might even be double the next most.
Yeah. Because here's the book on Hypel.
It's concerned. You can't give away possessions. We've talked about how the time and how there's the shortening of games, less plays and less possessions, and you just can't give away possessions like that. Especially when the other team, when you're lobbing it in the middle of the field, they're able to return it and get good field position. That stuff, you got to cut that stuff out.
The one thing we know about Florida is they've got a damn good defense, and if you let them, they'll score on you too. And if we get down there, that's why I don't want it to be a night game, because I see a scenario where he pops it up in the air a couple times. And look, I like Joey. I'm a Joey football guy. I think he's kind of been a season saver for us. There's no way without him we've had as interesting a season as we've had. But this thing he's got going now with the easy turnover and throwing the ball up in the air, that is just not against our next two opponents. You get away with it today. Even got one picked off today. But if you do it the next couple weeks, they'll pick you off 2 or 3 times, just like Oklahoma did. And look, I'm not ripping the kid, but the throw against Alabama and 2 of those throws last week in the first half, those are game-altering throws. And you know what? Lagway just did it. Lagway just threw a ball up.
It was tipped.
Oh, was it tipped?
But that was still a really bad throw. He was rolling left
his body.
Tried to throw across his. That's a terrible play out of the timeout.
Yes.
And you know what? Their guy can also throw interceptions. He's capable of throwing 3 or 4 of them.
Brian,
I think he leads the league in interceptions.
Brian, he's the In-N-Out guy. He's the he ought to be sponsored by In-N-Out Burger, because that's what this dude does.
If they lose this game and it's close,
that's what he does, Brian. This is a crazy throw, Matt, that he tries to make across his body. There's nothing there. He's throwing into 4 guys sideways. What is he doing there? Wow, and I know it was tipped, but still. Back to our phones we go. The Joey football throwing against the body on the road next week in a spot where we don't win games is something that's a little worrisome to me. I'm just sharing it with you. If you want to jump in, 865-200-5402. As Florida and Ole Miss are in a real interesting Southeastern Conference game, and all of a sudden, Texas's defense, they've tightened up with Georgia, Archie Bell and the Drells, as they're only down 14-10 now on a night where their offense has been, shall we say, brutal. But when you give them the ball at the 25-yard line, they're going to score a touchdown. Most teams will at this level. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Alex from Cookville. How's it going?
Hey, Alex. Great to hear your voice, man. Good to talk to you.
Hey, thanks. I'm at mile marker 313, so thank you for getting me almost back home to Cookville to Putnam County. So I really appreciate it. It's been great listening to your show. You guys hit on a lot of stuff, like the flyover. Incredible.
Oh, my God,
I mean, that was probably one of the highlights of the game for sure in a game like that, but... And something else you said just a minute ago that I really appreciated was how, you can put your show behind a paywall and make money, and but it's not really all about that to you. And games like today are kind of like how I feel about it. It's like, next year it's going to be an SEC game, and they'll probably be able to make more money and charge more for tickets. But it was great to see how many young people were at the game today, and
exactly.
First-timers, and the band was awesome, the bagpipes, singing the alma mater, the homecoming ceremonies. I mean, it's just like driving by where you used to live when you were on, at school, seeing old friends. I don't know, that's just something you can't really, Danny White will never be able to put a price tag on stuff like that.
And look, a guy like Danny White's never going to understand what we're talking about. He's just not. Because to him, it's this college sports world, and to those guys, it's all transactional. College sports are an in-the-heart thing for most fans. It's not a transactional thing. For you in Cookeville, you there's something inside you that feels called to be a part of it. It's a magical and a beautiful thing. It reminds us, many of us, of relatives that are no longer here or that are getting older. I saw the great Bill Nichols, Bubba won at the game today, who told me he's 85 years old. He's one of the first people advertised with me when I was a kid and stood behind me and stood beside me and encouraged me. And it was just so great seeing him. And, man, those are things intrinsically that money can't buy that stuff. Money can't buy the connection I feel to my favorite teams. Money can't buy the way I felt in 1987, the first time I walked into Neyland Stadium and thought to myself, as a 20-year-old kid, I'm at home. I walked in there and said, I'm home. Money can't buy that. And you know the sad thing, Alex? Now students today, freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, because of what these pigs have done, and they're all pigs in this Division I deal, most kids can't get tickets, won't be able to go to a game. I mean, Alex, that's messed up, man. That's messed up.
It's already like, I mean, the crowd is already, I've been going to games my whole life. I'm 35, and
yeah,
the crowd is different. I don't know what it is. I mean, it feels more like, I don't know. They feel more like tourists than fans, honestly, most games. And it's, I don't know, a lot of it, I think, goes back to this no paper tickets. I mean, you might think I'm crazy, but this whole Ticketmaster monopolizing our tickets, I think has really affected the crowd in some way. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I think that, and that's a whole nother topic, but regarding the game today, Tony, I thought we played a lot of young players, obviously, on defense. I wish we could have seen more dudes on offense, but I was sitting there during the game trying to think about, like, our roster next year, and I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not looking ahead because even though we're not in the thick of the playoff hunt, like, I'm still like the Florida game and the Vanderbilt game are still big games to me that I'm looking forward to watching, and it hasn't taken really anything away from those games for me. But as I'm looking at the what it looks to be a glorified scrimmage tonight, I'm trying to figure out, like, where are we going to put our dollars in retaining our players on defense next year? And I'm trying to figure out, like, where are we going to spend our money? And are we going to have to be more aggressive in the transfer portal? Because, is our football budget, maybe you could shed some light on this, one of those things where you have to, like, use it or lose it? Or are we just not going to maybe one year have as much money in our roster from year to year? But I'm just sitting there looking at our defense, especially, and thinking, like, who are we going to really, like, try to pony up and keep next year that we just got to have? I mean, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think that this team needs an overhaul on defense, and I think they need to be very active in the portal, and I think it's an off-season of opportunity for them. They've spent a lot of money on their freshman class, but those guys aren't going to play for a couple years. And so you got some talented young players over there next year. You wanting to throw them out there as redshirt freshmen against that schedule? I mean, personally, I'm not. Now, the Pilati guy obviously can play a little bit if he will quit committing personal fouls. He looks like a real nice player. Here's the thing. You need safety help. You need help in your secondary. Those guys were all going to go anyway. Of course, you got the freshman from Atlanta who's been very good, who made another play today.
Nice interception there.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, he made a nice play.
He's a nice player. And look, he's gotten picked on, which is my point. When you put freshmen or young players on the field at this level, you're going to get picked on. They have got to go raid rosters. They've just got to do it. And they've got an opportunity to do it because there's so much turmoil going on in major college football. Look, there are jobs that are going to open that we don't know are going to open because teams aren't going to get their first choice. The chessboard will get reset from mid-December to mid-January will be one of the craziest months in the modern era we've ever seen in major college football. I mean, I absolutely believe that. And here, there, and everywhere, you better get active in that portal or you're going to get left behind. That's what's going to happen. You do not want to get left behind. You don't want to get caught.
Son of a bitch.
You talking about the Georgia game, Matt? Isn't that gross?
Yeah.
That was gross.
I mean, give Georgia credit converting that 1 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
Then they just, this bailout flag they just called. Unless it looked like there was already, it's going to be 2 fouls. So Texas is probably getting 2 flags against them here.
It was the officiating in this league is professional wrestling, Alex, when it comes to the Georgia Bulldogs all year. It's almost embarrassing. And Kirby, I'll give Kirby credit. Kirby works those officials from pillar to post every game. But Alex, to your point about the portal, to me, we have to acknowledge the era we're in, and you've got to play in it. So everybody says, like, well, negative, like say about Hypel, you're in your 5th season. It doesn't matter what season you're in. Every year is different, and you have to approach it that way. Watson Brown, who's on with us Wednesday on our daily show, the great Watson Brown says, you don't have programs anymore. You have teams. And you have to approach it that way. Let me ask you, Alex, something. You brought this up. Why did so many kids play on defense today and you weren't worried about the point spread? And you were running a vanilla offense. Why didn't the Merklinger kid play several series in that game? You were never losing that game. That was not a losable football game. Why does our coach on offense not act the way the guy on defense does?
You want to see Merklinger play more?
You think it's his love of numbers? Like he wants to put his numbers up, or what? I don't know. Maybe.
But he didn't. He played vanilla offense, and they weren't trying to put numbers up today. They weren't.
No, you're right.
They were throwing it around.
They had to get him as 200, though.
Yeah, they got him as 200. Yeah, that's right.
And I would prefer, honestly, to seeing McIntyre. I would.
Of course.
Like you guys were talking about on your daily show, which I listen to every day. It's like, hey, Mark, I appreciate you, but like, no hard feelings. But this is a business. We got to find out who our quarterback's going to be next year because I don't personally think he's on the roster right now. I think we got to go try to find another guy like Joey Aguilar that's had 400 or 500 attempts in major college football that's seen it and done it. And I think that method has proven to work this season. I don't know if it's lightning in a bottle, but I really hope that we are actively, I don't know if it's a network of agents and we're back channeling, talking to people, because it seems like that's probably what happened when Miami pulled our safety last year. But I really hope our coaches or whoever's involved is working the phone lines or whatever, trying to get some talent. And like, just a quick question before I go, Tony, is like, do you think that, I'm just kind of curious how our budget for our football team works. Is it something where we say like this?
Let me tackle that.
I'm sorry.
So, no, you. I didn't mean to talk over you. You have the rev share money, right? $21 million. Mm-hmm. And really, the way they cut it is football gets most of it. Now, this past off season at all these schools, they spent like drunken sailors. Like Nate Ament got north of $3 million. Now, here's what they want me to believe, and they want you to believe. They're only going to spend a finite amount of money that's in the rev share. And then anything else that's spent above that, they have to justify through the clearinghouse. Here's the problem. The clearinghouse will never hold up in a court of law. The first kid that they tell you are not worth what the market's going to pay you will be the last kid they will tell that. Now, right now, they're kind of green-lighting everything. And these programs are now going to be forced, if they continue with this NIL go nonsense, and it's nonsense. If they continue to act like that clearinghouse, has legs, then they're going to be capped at whatever they're going to be capped at. $14-15 million in this league. There's no way Ohio State is going to adhere to that. There's no way Texas is going to adhere to that. There's no way Texas A&M is going to adhere to that. There's no way Notre Dame is going to adhere to that. And there should be no reason Tennessee adheres to that. Period. End of sentence. Go out there and get the football players you need to get and pay what your billionaire boosters are willing to pay. But they want us to believe that's how it's going to be done. So to answer your question, it's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. As the kids like to say, Alex, 6'7", 6'7", 6'7".
Well, let's hope we can get some. Danny Dimes can get those deep pockets and see if we can acquire some talent. But thanks for getting me back to Putnam County.
Thank
Tony.
you, brother.
Go Vols.
Thank you. Yeah, and go Tennessee Tech next week. And go Vols to you. Timothy McGee says G-Mac was out there.
Good caller.
Great caller. Timothy McGee says G-Mac was out there. No, that's not the point. The point is on defense, they emptied the bench middle of the third quarter, and on offense, G-Mac got to touch the ball for like 5 seconds. I get it. G-Mac was out there. Okay, he was out there for like what, Matt? A play? 2 plays? What was he out there for? I mean, you get a chance to see him play.
He got 2 series at least.
Yeah, 2 series, but when you were backed up on both of them.
Yeah, they weren't playing. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that team was never
disappointing
going to
he didn't get some real action. That is disappointing. I mean, part of that is you didn't put the game away comfortably, in the first half. So and obviously you wanted Aguilar to get the 200 passing yards. Yep. But no, it missed an opportunity to get McIntyre some experience. Oh, Ole Miss turned. Oh my God!
Did they just do it again? Did they turn the ball over on downs?
Yeah, they went for a fourth goal at about the 2.
I love me some Lane Kiffin. I love me some Lane Kiffin.
A field goal sends it to overtime, and a touchdown beats them.
I love me some Lane Kiffin.
Lane, you got to take the field goal there, Lane. What are you doing?
See, that's the thing about him, and this is a guy who at a couple 2-minute warnings this year has called a timeout with 2:07 left on the clock, which you just don't do. He's done it twice this year. This guy here, like we get on our guys for game management. Lane Kiffin had a real stinker against UCLA too his first year here. I know, and look, I like Lane Kiffin. Some of you worship him. I like him. I think he's got the recruiting panache to win a national championship at a place like ours. I really do. I really believe that. I think Lane Kiffin would have a really high ceiling here. But one of the things that would inhibit Lane Kiffin is some of this goofy stuff he does in football games. And he does, Matt, do goofy things in football games. And he's
overcoaching tonight. He's pressing really hard tonight. You can tell that the chatter about Florida has really gotten to him. He's really kind of overdoing it tonight. His team's playing so tight, and they're probably just following his lead.
This will be so fun.
There's Georgia with a championship drive to put that game away.
Game over. Yep. Isn't that amazing?
That's what they do. That's what they do. They make the plays when it matters.
All year long. They're good enough. That's what they are this year. Not great. Good enough. Probably the best coached team in the league is that Georgia bunch, and we had them beat. I guarantee you the rest of the league looked at Tennessee that day when we had them beat and said, well, that's it for us. Everybody else on their schedule pretty much said, well, that was fun. So what does Florida do here, Matt? Does this kid throw another pick?
I'm not. I guess they just picked up the flag for pass interference.
Yeah, they did.
They shouldn't have.
They did.
I'm not. Florida's getting a little too conservative. We'll see, because they're going to have to go for it if they get 4th down here.
And so, my friends at Performance Medicine, personalized health solutions that fit your life. A approach to medicine that puts you first at Performance Medicine, and it's what they do each and every day at Performance Medicine. I encourage you to go over to YouTube and check out their Performance Medicine YouTube channel. what you'll see is you'll see the Rodgers family dedicated to people staying and being healthy, dedicated to people living their best lives, dedicated to people staying out of the ER, staying out of just being sick all the time, staying out of sinus infections all the time, staying out of all that stuff because they want you to eat properly and they want you to have the proper vitamins and minerals and all that stuff and exercise daily and feel better. And that's what Dr. Rogers and the gang at Performance Medicine are all about. Online at performancemedicine.net.
Goodness.
What happened here? What's going on? Talk to me, Matt.
I think Georgia just got an onside kick, which is basically just Kirby letting everybody know that he's coaching circles around Sarkisian.
Welcome to the league.
That's just a taunting deal there to do that and get it. Wow, look at Kirby. Kirby's so fired up for that. He's just playing with them now. Wow.
Up 21-10 with 14 minutes to play in the game. That's like saying we don't respect your offense, and we've seen something on film we're going to exploit because you're a very poorly coached team, which is exactly what Texas is. And please show Matthew McConaughey over there, who's the biggest poser ever, and the kid that caught that could have run it in for a touchdown, Matt.
Yeah. Well, it's the running back they always throw to on third
I don't
down.
think you can advance an onside kick.
You can't.
Yeah, Cash Jones, that guy's been there for like 6 years.
You can't.
Now the
advance
receiving team can run it in.
Oh, that's right. The kicking team can't. Once you touch
but the kicking team cannot advance an onside kick.
You're right, Brian.
It.
I always, because you always see the receiving team do it. You never see a college team catch a ball that cleanly on an onside kick, Matt. That's called on special teams. Whoever that special teams coordinator is,
they just scouted that, had that.
Pruitt did that. Pruitt did that.
Let's go back to our phones
against Indiana.
Hey, I want Pruitt for DC next year. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on our Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Bring Pruitt back. Bring back the bags of cash. Let's go, man. On the TLD Logistics Hotline. Welcome in. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dixie was right. Kirby has saw Texas's front line that just bails out every time the guy's about to kick off, and he exploited it. And they're bailing out in a sport where you fair catch kickoffs like 85% of the times. You don't have to run back to block because your guys aren't going to return it probably anyway. And Kirby just caught Sarkisian being a poor overall coach, which is what he is. So beautiful.
No, Sarkisian and Hypel are very similar coaches, and they never get
compared.
Lane. But and Lane, Lane. Now we compare Lane and Hypel, but Sarkisian's basically the same guy Hypel is. They're elite OCs, but there's questions about the game management and just overall head coaching stuff.
Sarkisian's
done an awful job this year. That team's been poorly coached all year.
It's attention to detail. Tony was right earlier. I don't know if Tony's with us right now, but Tony was dead on earlier with the thing we have to worry about the most is the mistakes, the little stuff, and that's lack of attention to detail. That's my biggest fear with this coach is not being good at the little stuff, not going into a ball game against a Georgia at home and you commit 6 pre-snap penalties and they commit 0 in your building because they're more committed to attention to detail.
Yeah, he's Kirby Smart is trying to do his best Nick Saban impersonation. I think
he does a damn good job of it. I think he's probably the best coach in the country. It sucks,
and that's sort of what Nick Saban's best teams did. They didn't do stuff that beat themselves.
Nope,
and they were really damn good, and they recruited like maniacs. And that's what you got here.
Signetti is another Saban guy that's pretty good at that stuff too. They don't do stupid stuff.
You know, Rusty, that margin of error, Rusty, when we go to 9 games next year, that margin of error for our head coach is going to get slighter and slimmer.
It's already here. It's already here this year, and it's going to get worse. You're right.
Yeah,
because every team has came up, and the teams at the top have came down a little bit, and everybody's close together. And this guy that went to West Point and then to MIT that knew a little something about football, he made this statement: "The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win." I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him or not.
His name was Robert Nealon.
Yeah, I think he might have a stadium named after him. Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of knew what he was talking about a long time ago.
I think he might have been a
we don't
second
clean up the
ballot
attention to detail stuff. We're going to be what we are.
I think
a fun team to watch. You never know what you're going to get.
Now, he was a second ballot Hall of Famer in Donna Thomas's Hall of Fame.
He was a great regular season coach.
Yeah, regular season Robert, they called him.
Yeah. Coached the team that didn't get scored upon.
Yes.
1 year.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I know you guys aren't watching this game because it's on my fourth TV right now. But Mississippi State, Missouri, I called in earlier and I wanted to talk about it right when it happened because it was hilarious. It's why football's so great, especially in this league where it's just chaos. Mississippi State had the ball first and goal on Missouri in the second quarter, really close to the end of the half. And they ran 3 plays, and on third down, they got bailed out with a penalty that gave them an automatic first down again inside first and goal. They ran 3 more plays, got stopped, but on third down, they got another penalty that gave them an automatic first down. Then they ran 3 more plays and didn't get the penalty and had to settle for a field goal. And then they snapped it off the holder's knee, and the ball bounced 20 yards across the opposite hash, and Missouri picked it up and ran with it like 70 yards, but didn't score a touchdown. Benny Hill music was playing. It was priceless.
I mean, how great is the sport, dude? It's so imperfect, and it's so great, and it drives us so crazy.
It's so bad, and it's so great.
Great. Yes, and that's the thing. And look, I like NFL football. I love college football. Those imperfections make the sport and today, I mean, these results and just these games and these teams playing out of their minds for no reason today.
Ole Miss tacks on a touchdown to make it 34-24.
Yeah, that game's over, baby.
Brian,
I mean, Lagway might
this kind of game hurts Florida
here.
Worse than a blowout.
You think so? Florida State?
Yeah, being this close and playing that hard and then still having your heart ripped out, it probably kills the psyche worse than if you get beat the way you did at Kentucky.
It's on my no excuses list right now, Rusty. We got to win that game.
It's on that one old boy no excuse list, that's for sure. That one old boy, I mean, what is it?
He keeps coming back. Yeah, I want him to come back. He needs to. And he told Matt Dixon, "Don't you dare, Matt. Don't you dare." He told him, he said, "Don't you dare bring your damn red hair back here without getting a win." I want Matt. I cannot wait for Matt to hear it.
He wanted to know how big a boy Dixie is.
Yeah,
he's going to whoop a man's damn ass.
Matt, you're going to be. Matt, I'm really, for your safety, I'm really rooting for the Vols harder than humanly possible right now. I'm worried about this,
So you're telling me I need to stay out of Gibbs for the time being?
I think that's Kenny Chesney's uncle was calling, actually.
Interesting.
From Gibbs. Hey, last thing, we're out of the playoffs. Oklahoma beating Alabama ended any chance, basically. You had to have Oklahoma having 4 losses. And you had to have Texas having 4 losses. Oklahoma beating Bama just ended any chance. And I was the person that was saying there was still a chance. That pretty much ends it. Now, can a 9-3 SEC team still get in 5th? Yeah, it just can't be Tennessee now.
Well,
it can't be Vandy if we made them 9-3 or Kentucky made them 9-3. But it could still be Texas, or it could still be like Bama. Like if Auburn beats Bama, they'd still get in at 9-3 probably, because I think a 9-3 SEC is getting in ahead of a 10-2 ACC or a 10-2 Big 12 team.
Which is kind of a rightfully so, really, when you look at the leagues.
It should be that way.
Yeah.
Hell, a 9-3 SEC team should get in ahead of a 10-2 Big 10 team.
I agree with that. Big 10 has 3 teams in it and a bunch of slop.
That's all they deserve.
And
now, if USC goes and beats Oregon and ends up 10-2, or if Michigan goes and beats Ohio State and ends up 10-2, I guess we can argue for them. But, I mean, what are the odds of either one of those things happening? Pretty much nil.
USC slopping around today, like they were bored with Iowa.
Michigan did too.
We're in a monsoon out here. It does not rain here except in January. It's a monsoon, and it's not stopping until Monday. It started yesterday and poured all day. It's flood where the fires were a year and a half ago. A year ago.
I hate
all that flooding and land's washing away because it's all distraught already.
I hate hearing that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, brother. Thank you. Good talking to you. Bri, have we seen game times yet for next week?
I have not.
Bri, what will the number be next week in that game? We saw the advanced line the other day. What was the line?
It's 5.5. I think it'll still be around 5.5. I could see it no more than 7. I don't think it goes down any.
Matt, what just happened to Florida? The fact that it was a close game, is that a better result for us? The fact that they had to really exert themselves here and they're still going to come up small.
Yeah. You wanted them to definitely lose and actually play pretty well. Yeah. I think that helps Tennessee. I don't know what the line will be. If it was 5.5 last week, it'll probably be around that. Maybe just 5, 4.5.
Yeah.
But I think you'll probably get some early money on Tennessee because of the bounce back factor from Florida. That's going to be tough to bounce back from. But again, I've said this way too many times, but it's their first home game in over a month. So you just have no clue how they're going to react and how the crowd's going to kind of react too. I guess the game time kind of plays a part of that as well.
It's 4.5. I just saw it. It's down to 4.5.
Hey guys, how many times, guys, have we taken 35 days off in between home games? That seems like a real long time, because that's what they're talking about. You're talking about 35 days.
When you got to play in Jacksonville against your rival every year, that's what can happen.
Yeah, you're right. It's an excellent point.
You had a game right there, you'd have it home, but no, you got to play a neutral field.
It's an excellent point. In Duval, of all places. I hear they've got a professional team down there. I don't know. Something about William Pattison was telling me something about them. By the way, a great place to get some action on that Tennessee game next week. As Brian says, the lines dropped a point already. Is my friends over at VIP Play, because the Georgia Bulldogs have just tacked another one on. So if you had the Dogs tonight, you're feeling pretty good about yourself over Texas. And my friends over at VIP Play want to encourage you. You can go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. Sign in, download the app, sign in, $20. You make a bet, and you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. 200 leagues, live always. Numerous bet types for you. Full card in the NFL tomorrow. Props, options. They've got you covered. I want to say congratulations to the Tennessee Titans, because for the first time in my lifetime of being here, they won't be on in Knoxville, even though they'll be playing, because they're like only on in Nashville. I don't know how they've done that, but shout out to the Titans anyway. You can get action on them over at VIP Play as well, where everyone gets treated like a VIP. VIP Play. If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. And we get ready to go back to our phones. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction, presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm. Online at garzalaw.com. Thank you to the great Marcos Garza, who you're going to start seeing, if you haven't already, the Fish Pantry here ad locally for the Christmas card fundraiser that Jim Wright and Fish Pantry does each year. Marcos basically has given up his marketing for the next 6 weeks for that, and that's a lot of money to help Jim Wright feed people in our community, and we need it now more than ever. So God bless to everybody involved. Also, special shout out to TLD Logistics. We're getting ready to go back to our phones. Also, shout out to Woody and our friends at Chariots of Hire. They were shuttling families back and forth today and are shuttling them after the game. So, Woody, I know you're out there listening. Shout out to you, man, and your partner. That's incredible what you guys did for those kids today. And it was fun hanging out with you. It was fun hanging out with you at that tailgate today. I'm getting emotional thinking about you coming forward and what you did, bringing those kids in limos. I mean, that is Matt, how cool is that? They were bringing the kids, the mentors, and the mentees in limos today to the game.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Well, Chris came forward and got in touch with Brooke, and Brooke was like, yeah, well, the limos. And I was like, oh, my God, that's so incredible. And then he came and hung out with us at the tailgate, and we hung out and got to visit. So really, really great. Let's go back to the phones. As Florida, a close loss now at Ole Miss, and Texas was momentarily in the game. Matt, do you find Texas in this game right now, or did they just get their kingdom torn down? Which one?
No, this game's over. It was over when Georgia scored to go back up, 21-10.
Yeah.
But it's definitely over now. Yeah. They could play until next Saturday, and Texas isn't scoring 28 points.
I wonder what the Texas billionaires are going to do. I wonder if Arch Manning's welcome back there next year. I don't even know how much of this is Arch Manning's problem watching them tonight. I don't know there's a quarterback alive that could play behind that offensive line.
Texas doesn't give you the vibe of a 7-2 team coming into tonight at all.
No.
They kind of Michigan. I'm watching them, and they don't give me the vibe that they're 8-2. They look like 5-5.
They had to go to overtime to beat Mississippi State and Kentucky.
Yep.
And were thoroughly outplayed in both games.
And
they're just not very
Florida.
good. Preseason #1 team, and they're just not good.
And you and Rusty were talking about how Lane, their guy, and our guy have trouble managing football games, and I think that's very accurate. I find that to be an accurate statement. Our guy does some goofy things. He just does, and I like him, but he does some crazy things in games. And Lane Kiffin tonight, now he's going to get away with it because he's playing a team he doesn't respect, obviously, with their offense. In a championship game or in one of these games, you've got to kick a field goal there. You've got to. You've got to go up 6 there. You can't let somebody tie you with a field goal. And then Texas has a special teams coordinator, kind of like our special team. Matt, why are we fair catching line drive kickoffs like we do now? Why won't we let somebody return a kickoff? Am I missing something?
I don't have a huge problem with it because you get it at the 25, and a lot of times you don't even return it to the 25. But we just have made special teams the return game a non-factor this year on purpose, which I guess to be fair, we kind of kick everything through the end zone too, so opponents don't have a return game either. But Tennessee games have been totally neutralized in terms of special teams plays because they're just non-existent.
Arch Manning is getting hammered in this game, guys.
Yeah, he has no chance.
No chance.
Again, that offensive line is so bad.
He just got nailed.
It's amazing how poorly coached Texas has been all year.
Ewad has entered the room. We'll let Eric Waddell, who's over there covering it for AP and several other entities. But let's go back to our phones on Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. As Texas is down 28-10, Ole Miss finishing touches on Florida. We will find out here momentarily what the kickoff will be next week. But let's go back to the phones and get our next call in on Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. Let's try this again. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, sorry about that, Tony.
You're fine.
Max Smith, Nashville.
Hey, Max Smith. Welcome in, brother.
Household name.
Good to talk to you, man.
As I'm sitting here waiting for my turn to talk, I'm dying laughing at the amount of shots fired at the poor Titans from Knoxville. It's friendly fire. They're the Tennessee Titans. They're their state team.
Oh,
we all hate them right now. It's tough.
Yeah, I forgot.
Well, it's just a joke, But
anyway,
I mean,
Max, how do they manage to get themselves blacked out across the state? You know how bad you have to be to do that? That means they must have gotten...
I mean, it's there's not even a parking lot to park at the stadium now. Everybody canceled their tickets.
So great.
We were staring at the two buildings, the old Nissan, the new Nissan, and we're like, just tear them both down.
Oh,
move back to Memphis. Where we put them? But no, I mean, it's tough. Good stuff. I don't know how they get blacked out on every TV. Nobody wants to watch them.
Interesting.
But anyway, yeah, the game tonight. I see the game tonight. I mean, I think that might be the last one of the season, depending on who we play on in the Music City Bowl. But Florida's gonna be tough. Vanderbilt is gonna be a really tough game, even at home. But I'm looking more forward, man. I'm like concerned. We got Tim Banks, who's the Kanye West of collegiate, defensive coaching. It's crazy. Matt, I called in a few weeks ago and I made some comment. And I said, what happened about with last year? We're all worried that Tim Banks was going to take another job. And I got to forget that you're on the call, and in the background you go, "Who's we?" Which is really funny. And today it's like, God, get rid of the guy. I think we need as much new personnel as we can.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Yeah.
No, on defense, look, I love that they've got some quality young players they've signed that they believe in. But if you throw too much youth out there on defense on the field, you'll get ripped apart in this league. We just know that. You'll get run over. They need linebackers.
We get the Joey footballs of defense. We get the 4, 5, 6 year guys who are they're built out. They've been around.
Yes.
They get it. I'm done with the 18-year-old 5-star.
That's what Vandy did. To your point, right in your backyard.
I think that. You got to be selective. But the money's more well spent with tenured guys who are knowledgeable.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No.
Anyway,
I agree with you though, Max. You're on the money with the. I would much rather have a known, and Vanderbilt, man, that's really opened my eyes because they don't lose games at the point of attack, and they're Vanderbilt, Max.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing to be a Vol fan in Nashville right now. We kind of ignore the grand gestures by the Vanderbilt fans, but they're got today. So Tony, I have a question for you.
Hit it.
One word: merch. Why don't we have Tony Basilio bobbleheads? Why don't we have shirts that say "Go"? Why don't we have the merch? I would be buying this merch. It's Christmas time. I'd be buying the merch for all the family, all the friends.
Do
Where's
people?
The merch?
Here's a question, right? Because people ask me this down through the years. You think people really want to publicly identify with me?
So badly, you don't even know. Look at your fan base. Look at the numbers.
Publicly identify. No, it's one thing to listen in your car.
We need one. We need Beano. We need a Beano dressed like Santa Claus.
Yes.
Matt, as an elf. No.
Yes.
Hey, no offense, respectfully.
Well,
no offense, respectfully.
I'm
Matt
a
is an elf with some numbers.
Yeah, I'm a Muppet.
The numbers. It's not a nice list.
Yeah, and I'm a Muppet. So, yeah.
No, I think you're Rudolph.
Well, no question. I do my red nose. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. Who knows? I love listening to you guys. And this is me being less mild-mannered, Max, and more Mad Max beyond the Valderdome. I'm just I'm concerned about the future. This year's kind of over. I really hope we win at Florida. Really hope we can ruin Vanderbilt's season. But I'm kind of thinking about next year. What's the move? Tim Banks is probably going to stay. I love Hypel. I'm not going to be another insane caller and say Hypel should get fired. I love Hypel. I think somebody should give him a PlayStation 5 so we can figure out, timeouts and general time management.
What a great line.
Christmas list. Who knows?
I mean, Matt, how do these guys make this money when they mismanage the clock the way they do? And they are all doing it in college ball, Matt. Why? Because in the NFL, they do not do it. Those guys do not do it at that level.
Are you talking to Matt?
Either one of you. Why?
Or Max. My name's Max.
Tell me about it,
Max.
This
happened before.
Tell me about it.
Matt, what do you think?
I just think they're so focused on their game plans and their plays, especially these offensive-minded coaches that call their own games, that they just have no real feel for the in-game stuff and the game management and time management. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just don't think it's really possible to be very good at both in this era where it's such a fast-paced game and especially when you play at tempo. But that doesn't excuse it at all because it gets teams beat all the time. I mean, Comrade Goals has done it a few times this year. Lane does it. I mean, a lot of coaches do it, and it's just crazy that there's just no situational awareness anymore from definitely from players, but even from a lot of coaches now.
Yeah, I mean, and you get it when you're caught up, like in the last minutes of the game, and you know, but there's so many people involved. It's like, hey, have one, college kid who's really good at Madden and NCAA.
Right.
He's kind of there, like, hey, I would call a timeout right now. It's pretty good time for a timeout. You know, I don't know, but I get it. You know, it's one of many problems. Matt, you're the man, by the way. When you said "who is we," it made me think of Pruitt when he was when they were eating at the tablecloth dinner, and someone brought up asparagus, and he goes, "What is that?" And it was
what the world's that?
What the world's that?
What is that? Like, well, it's vegetables.
Thank you, Max. I would bring Pruitt back tomorrow. Thank you, Max. He could be my DC. By the way, Matt, somebody said, thanks to Basilio, my young kids walk around the house going, I mean, what are we doing to their mother, Matt?
No, wow, yeah, that's
pretty
good,
great, man.
In a way, it is. Good.
I mean, what? What
that's
are
a compliment.
we doing? What are we doing?
My wife gets so mad when I yell that during games. She gets so mad.
Oh my gosh!
Damn, Georgia's running it up on them. This is damn.
Are you for this or against this?
I mean, it's kind of what I expected. I didn't think it'd quite be this bad, but I mean, Georgia's just is such a better team, and they're playing at home. And Texas has no offense.
No, they have when you don't have an offense, eventually you don't have a chance. It's amazing they hung around the playoff chase as long as they have. Because to your point,
they had no business. No, Brian's right. They have no business being here. I mean, Mississippi, they were down 17 at State in the fourth. Right. Kentucky thoroughly outplayed them that entire game.
Yes,
they had a punt return that was their only score.
Yes, I mean they're
a lot closer to Penn State than they are the playoffs.
And Max, to your point,
preseason 1 and 2 teams.
To your point, Max, too, the Titans have been linked to Texas head coach, and that would be a perfect guy for them to hire. Right, Matt? I mean, we're just going to continue the bit.
Yeah. He looks semi-checked out. His teams can play like it all year.
Yeah.
They've just been so poorly. They're just not ready for games. The game plans aren't. I mean, their offense is just bad.
Somebody said, Basilio, you need a shirt with your face on it that says, I didn't do it on the back. That would be so illiterate. So illiterate.
Those things would sell out so quick.
You think so, Matt? I didn't do it?
Absolutely.
I'd
wear one.
That's so stupid.
Brian would wear, Ewad would wear one for sure.
Eric Waddell.
He'd wear one in the press box.
I got the Gitmo shirt.
Ewad, get in. Or the Gitmo shirt is without a doubt the Lion-Hearted Jerry Garantano, one of my favorite shirts I own. Absolutely. One of the great NIL shirts of all time when he was at, I think it was Wazoo, Bri, is that right?
Yes, he went to Washington State for 1 year and got
he's
beat to a pulp and didn't even finish the season.
Well, he's doing a great job on YouTube, though. He's really found a niche and a following, and we've linked to his stuff a couple times in the blog. I mean, he's really doing a wonderful job. Let's go back to the phones and get our DR said, Tony, I never said your face should be on him. I just said I didn't do it. T-shirt. Yeah, I'm sorry, DR. I guess it was me that said put my face on the front of it, but they would have to
It says, what are we doing on the front of it? Yeah. And I didn't do it on the back.
What are we doing? And I didn't do it.
Beautiful.
Ewad, your thoughts on this wild, wild world of college football, and even your Cincinnati Bearcats got caught up in it today, brother.
Yeah, they I'll just say they blew a good opportunity today.
Yep. It's a sport, man. Every week.
Yeah.
Got to pay attention.
Nope, absolutely. You know, if your big time players don't make plays, you're in trouble. And it's big time relatively, but for them, their big time players didn't make plays today, and they lost the game because of it. I think if they play that game 10 times, they win 7 or 8, but not today because they didn't make the plays.
What about our Vols today, E? Talk to me.
It sounds like something I've said in a few different occasions for Tennessee. We did what we needed to do. We, particularly in a lot of the first half, we looked like a team that knew they were 40-point favorites. And we played like a team who knew they were 40-point favorites. I mean, they eventually woke up and they did what they needed to do, but it was not. It wasn't pretty, but I'd be lying to say it was bad.
No, we had a couple callers say that earlier. Yeah, it was not. It just was what it was. Like, that team was never going to compete with you. You'd like your team to be a little more focused, but you shouldn't be playing these games in November. So what's the point of them? It's kind of like when I'm watching these Tennessee preseason games. This quad four deal they're doing right now, the next couple of games. You kind of watch those games and you just sort of say, what's the point in this? I'm just being honest.
Yeah, sometimes guys just sleepwalk through that stuff.
Sure.
And it's unfortunate, but it's true.
Yeah.
And you know what? When I was a younger guy, I would have been a lot more upset with that kind of thing. But I just know it's real now. So I don't quite get it as bothered by it as I used to back in the day.
Yep. Because people would say to me, well, you can't get up. Like Jackie Sherrill used to say, you get your football team up, really getting your team up 3 or 4 or 5 times in a year if you're lucky. And then the other times you're going to hope you have a better talent, more talented roster, better roster, whatever. Damn, Manning almost killed Kirby Smart on the sidelines with a pass. That was pretty next level. So, E, what are your thoughts? Because I know you're living in those parts these days. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen in Florida next week? Where do you think this team is?
You know what? I think we should win the game. At the same time, I went to the game almost now 2 calendar years ago and saw us get beat to death, and I truly thought we were going to win the game. I went to the game because I was so convinced we were going to end the streak. And it wasn't pretty. So I have mixed feelings about it, just being honest. I believe we should win, but if you were going to ask me to, bet my car or my house on it, I sure as hell wouldn't. I know that's not really the pep talk you maybe wanted to hear, but
it's like
that's
Matt,
just real.
Well, Matt told me this week when I was declaring Florida dead, he said, if you don't think when Tennessee walks in there that they're not going to put their best foot forward, you're out of your mind. He's probably right. The thing I'm concerned about is our quarterback all of a sudden throwing the ball up for grabs like he has the last few games. That will get you beat next week. I have him at 2. I have him at 2 interceptions next week. Meaning, if he commits 2 turnovers, we will not win that game. 2's the death number for me. Our team is not good enough defensively to win that game. If he throws 2 interceptions, so he needs to tighten up with the football, and I believe that, Eric.
Yeah, no. So much in college football today is who plays cleanest.
Mm-hmm.
Not even who's the better team. Who plays cleanest.
Mm-hmm.
We play clean. We could actually walk the dog on them.
We play clean. We'll go 2-0 in our next 2 games. Yeah, if we play clean football. Yeah.
So I'm hoping for clean. That's my scouting report. We just need to play clean and not give the ball away. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about injuries this week. I think we're a banged up football team, and that concerns me.
Who are you concerned about?
But I don't know anything about their health, so I can't really compare.
No, but they played a physical game tonight. Who are you concerned about, Eric?
It's just kind of an across the board. It's not one guy. You know, if we have to go in there and we're down 6 or 7 contributors, that's trouble. That's trouble. Honestly, it doesn't matter almost that much who it is. It's just kind of an overall picture thing. You know, we got to have guys to go out and win this game. You know, we're not so much better than them that we can, you know, go in as a crippled unit.
Hey, Matt, anybody of concern for you after watching tonight?
Well, and Arian Carter didn't play. Joshua Josephs didn't play. You had some guys get banged up. Yeah, I mean, you need a full deck. You need, especially on defense, as many guys as you can out there. The Kitzelman injury was interesting. I think he got hurt down there on the other end zone, so I'm not sure what that was, but he was down for a longer than usual time. Your couple of your running backs got banged up with stuff, but hopefully you're as healthy as you can be at this point in the year, because you definitely need, you got to jump on them early. It's one of those games where you can't let them hang around. The longer they hang around, the more the crowd gets into it, the more the doubt creeps in, because you're the better team. You need to have that Hypel fast start.
Yes.
Because that Florida team's not built to play from behind.
And you said it earlier, our offense has not been cooking here recently. We're going to come into that game.
They just have too many wasted possessions where they go 3 and out, or after a turnover you don't move the ball, or you have obviously the bad interceptions where you're just lofting the ball down the center of the field.
Yep.
Like it's weird. We're either scoring quickly or not moving the ball at all, and it's happening way too much. That feast or famine deal. We can't. We got to figure out a way to be productive, throughout.
And the thing about our quarterback play is, again, the throwing the ball up in the middle of the field thing against Florida will not work. And I love that, look, Hypel's offense. So you're telling me that Joey's got 10 right now? I wonder how many Lagway has, Matt, because he did 3 and 3 in 2 games. He had, 2 tonight? That's 8 in 3 games right there. So Lagway's got to have, 14 or 15
I think he had one tonight. He had that one, that really costly one.
All right, hang on. Lagway's got to have, 13 or 14 picks on the year, conservatively. I'm not even going to look at it.
Yeah, he's got to lead the league.
Got to lead the league.
He's got to be close to 15, I would think.
And I really, again,
hell, he had 5 in that LSU game.
Oh, I thought it was 3. Oh, you're right. So it was 5, 3, 1. That's 9. He matches him in 3 games. That's crazy. Timothy McGee, Matt, help me answer this. Says, hey, Tony Basilio, Super Chat. Does Joey Aguilar have a problem with checking it down like Peyton Manning did? Because we had players open, and he just wants to throw it downfield. Is that what he does, Matt? What is leading Aguilar's little spate of interceptions here that have gotten us?
I just think he's getting pressured early, and he's just kind of throwing balls away, but he's throwing them into the middle of the field. The one tonight was really bad. I mean, after he did it twice to Oklahoma, you would think that he wouldn't do that again, that would be a huge coaching point. But he just did it again. He just gets pressured and he throws the ball with tons of loft in the middle of the field. I mean, you're almost never going to have anything good happen there. I don't know. But I think it does come to, we talked about it earlier. I think it was Randy from Altamont about our line hasn't been, very good these last couple of games. And tonight it was kind of shocking how much pressure they were allowing.
They have one excellent pass rusher who's very good, who hit him on that one interception. Their end, who's a really nice player. I just don't. I for the life of me, don't understand how you can't block New Mexico State, Eric. Probably not a great sign. Just saying.
No. Short answer, no.
But let's go back to the phones. I think with Aguilar, I think you live with a guy that's a great long ball thrower who's kind of a gunslinger. I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't want him throwing you out of a game, though. And if you get on the road next week, and that's why I'm cheering for an afternoon game. I do not want a night game.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah, and I don't want him out there in a night game. And I like him. I respect the hell out of him. He worked really hard. He's worked really hard to put himself in that spot. But he's kind of loose with the ball. But he's also playing behind a line, to Matt's point, where he's getting hit. He's really getting hit. So let's go back to the phones. And I know they've been kind of concerned, and but you got to play what you have. I know one thing: Tennessee's offensive line is 1,000,000 times better than Texas's offensive line. Like 1,000,000 times better. Poor Arch Manning. That's sad, man. That kid's going to get hurt. That kid is going to get hurt back there.
My negativity towards him has dropped because now I know he's protection challenged. Let's just leave it there.
He's not fair. Yeah.
I mean,
it's like watching.
He's fighting for his life.
It's like watching Nico at UCLA. Nico at UCLA looks like that thing in the yard where you play with your friends, and two of them are rushing, and two people go out for a pass, and they go 1,002, 1,000, and they're moving forward while they're counting. They didn't even count. They're just running at you like a jailbreak. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hello, Tony. This is Brian.
Hey, Brian. Welcome in, brother.
Thank you.
Great seeing you.
I would buy one of your bobbleheads, and I guarantee you could sell probably 10,000 of them.
10,000?
Tony, you just don't realize how popular you are. And I'm not trying to butter you up or nothing, but listen, just like the Monchi game that we had, all the kids today.
Yes.
Just think if you sold them for $10 a piece, and then take that money and give it to the Monchi deal and buy all those tickets.
Now that's
pay for it easily.
That's a damn great idea right there. I like something.
But every now and then I have a good one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you, this team, I just don't understand them. The play selection offensively.
Yeah.
The way we were running the ball, run it up the middle. Why don't we ever do any counters or sweeps? Throw to the backs out of the backfield. I just understand that. And Hypel's supposed to be a great guru with offense. Why didn't he come up with something new? Was he just trying to play vanilla tonight for some reason?
Oh yeah, tonight was we're just gonna we're gonna work on our running game. That obviously is what they were doing in today's game. We're just gonna work on our running game. I think it's a fair criticism that we don't see more outside stuff from this offense. But it's
I just don't understand it. And then
yeah,
we throw that wide receiver screen that never works.
Yes,
and that would have been good back in the 70s and 80s, but everybody's seen it so many times it doesn't work anymore.
Yes.
And one other point, Dale Jones would be the first person I'd call to be the new DC. He would crawl through glass.
Oh, I love him
to get there.
I love him.
And don't you know? He would teach those guys all the fundamentals, and he would recruit where Banks doesn't seem to be able to recruit anybody. But our linebackers are probably the worst in the whole conference. They're slow. They're out of position.
Yeah.
And this team that we played tonight should have been shut out. They shouldn't have been able to run up and down the field like they did, especially late in the game.
Well, you just had third and fourth teamers in there. I mean, a caller said earlier that there were guys in the game that we've never heard of, and I find that to be an accurate statement. There were guys in the game I've never heard of late in the game. So, but
even in the first half, we couldn't get them off the field.
No, you're right. In the first half, we were out of position on a few plays. No doubt about it.
And I've been a fan since 1968.
Sure.
And I just don't like the direction this team's going. I mean, Kirby Smart is by far the best coach in the league right now. He took Nick Saban in his position as the best when he left, and he was actually doing better than Nick Saban was. But I just don't understand why the University of Tennessee will put up with mediocrity, and I've never understood.
You think this is mediocre? You think Hypel's mediocre?
As far as running the game, yeah. I mean, he might be an offensive guru, but he doesn't manage the game correctly.
See, he's
done it several times this year.
I think Lane Kiffin's mediocre.
Well, so do I. Same way. I mean, he'll win you 8, 9, 10 games, but you think they're going to win it all? I'll tell you right now, Georgia's going to beat Ohio State or somebody in the finals and be the national champs. Just watching them, they're dismantling Texas 35-10 right now.
Matt, in your humble opinion, does Georgia have enough team to do that? Take that UCLA or take that Ohio State bunch out?
I don't know if anybody can beat Ohio State.
No.
But Georgia is certainly in the
Ohio
in the
State
running
hasn't
to,
played
they
anybody
have as good
yet.
a chance as anybody.
I'll tell you what Georgia State's done, or what Georgia's done though, is they've really grown into this season. Their offensive line, or rather defensive line, is creating a lot more havoc than they were at any point this year. The last 2 games, I mean, they look like a different unit. They've grown some kids. It looks like to me.
You can tell that they have a lot of team unity and they love each other.
Oh, no doubt
and
about
they play like a family.
No
they don't
doubt
play
about it.
like a bunch of guys just getting together.
No doubt about
I really do think they're going to be the national champs.
No doubt about it.
But what do I know? I'm just an old simpleton. But I'll tell you that deal with the bobbleheads, I believe,
it's a great idea.
Yeah,
Basilio bobblehead.
And why wouldn't you want to have that? I mean, you know, you do a lot of great stuff around for the people, and I know you don't want people to know it, but you do a lot of great things behind the scenes, and you never take credit for it.
That's nice of you to say, Brian.
Well, I know it's true, I'm telling everybody out there, and again, I'm not trying to butter you up, but I really do like you, and you doing a lot of great things, and I'm glad my sons introduced me to you a long time ago.
Let's go!
They went to UT, and they said, you need to listen to this guy.
This simpleton.
I said, who is this? And he said, he's some guy named Basilio. And I said, oh, an Italian fellow. Well, I like Italians. I probably like him.
All right, do us a little John Ward here on the way out.
Well, let's see. Let's get a scenario.
All right, we're going to Florida next week. This young kicker of ours is going to line up.
Oh, no. We got to have somebody running down the sideline.
Huh? Don't you want the kick to be good, da?
A deep ball to Brazel.
All right, a deep ball to Brazel.
There's a long pass down the field. The man is there. Brazel at the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What did he do? He just scored 6 for Tennessee. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Thank you, Brian. That's really great. Hello and welcome into our next call. And I'm going to tell you something about Brian. We had him sing happy birthday to somebody a couple weeks back, Joshy boy. Brian got that microphone and got down on it now. Brian got that microphone and got down on it. Hello and welcome into our next call, our final call of the show.
Hey, Tona, Bobby.
Hey, welcome in, brother.
Today.
Great
what
seeing
you do
you,
for those
man.
kids is really inspiring.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Thank you for whatever it's worth, man.
I did nothing.
I was glad.
We had a tailgate.
I'm glad my kids got to come by.
Oh, your kids
do
are
that.
precious. My gosh.
Yeah, well, they took after their mother.
Well, I told your wife when you walked away, I said, "Crowns in heaven, sweetie. Crowns
yeah,
in heaven."
I did. I heard. No, I heard. You weren't that quiet.
Okay.
But you're not wrong, by the way. You're not wrong. Absolute crowns in heaven. She's a princess, man. What a woman. You guys were talking about, I thought it was funny, I thought it was very poignant when you guys were talking about coaches mismanaging games. Just at that moment, Mississippi State, down only, I believe at the time, 11 points, went for it with 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter from their own 16-yard line, 4th and 4. As you were saying it, with 14 minutes to go in the football game, only down a possession and a half.
Jeff Lebby does a nice job.
What the hell are these coaches thinking?
Jeff Lebby.
What an idiot. And then they threw a pick. And on the play, he threw a pick six, Tony. What are they doing?
These guys are getting super rich, y'all. Super. And most of them don't even understand how to coach around a 2-minute warning. I mean, no offense.
Unbelievable. And Florida did it tonight. Did you notice that, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
And they had 36 seconds to the 2-minute warning, and he ran it down until there was 1 second. Snap the ball. What the hell are you doing?
I mean, it's so great.
It's ridiculous.
Gosh.
I'm really, I hate to revel in Georgia winning a game because I can't stand those guys. Mm-hmm. But man, it is nice to watch Texas just get their teeth kicked in. I just don't like Texas, man. Is that
no,
bad?
That's a real
Alabama.
thing. No, when we played Oklahoma and we were playing music at Calhoun's on the river, I kept screaming, I hate this. I hate the Longhorns. I hate Tech. And they were doing the horns down thing. And man, they tipped us out like you can't even imagine. Those people, you talk about. And then an Oklahoma fan said, you have no idea how obnoxious those Texas people are. I said, brother, we've been around Alabama fans my whole life, and Florida's white trash. I have a pretty good idea of how they are. But here's the thing. They spent more than anybody this side of Ohio State on their roster this year. And they're watching Texas A&M have their season.
Yep.
That's got to piss them off, right?
I mean, here's another question. Okay, if I told you Tennessee was up against literally any team, 30-3 at halftime, and we lost 31-30, is our coach immediately on the hot seat? I don't give a damn who we're playing or what year it is. Like, how is that guy not going to be fired tomorrow? How do you lose a 4-touchdown lead in the first half and not score a point in the second half?
Matt, we were
watching
what
that reminded me of that second half?
What's that, Brian?
It reminded me of Tennessee, Florida in 2016. Well, the first half, too, where the visiting team makes all the plays, the home team makes all the mistakes, falls way behind. In the second half, they just blitz them. And they just score all those points unanswered.
Well, it reminded me of that. They blew the 28 points in like 20 minutes of play. It was like early in the fourth quarter, A&M had the lead.
Yeah,
they did it in a damn quarter.
We were watching it together. There was like 11 minutes to go in the game when they took the lead. You're sitting there going, how in the hell did you blow that lead in 16 minutes of football? It's not possible.
I mean, Shane Beamer, man, he kept trying to press the kicking game. I'll leave you with this, Tony. So, again, thanks for the time today and just now. But the thing I think I see with Tennessee, and I heard a caller call in and say he'd rather see Aguilar on the bench and Joe and McIntyre in the game. I don't think he can do that. I think the kid deserves better treatment than that. He said, well, you don't know who your quarterback is. He may not be on campus. I still think Tennessee's going to lawyer up and try to help Joey get another year.
It's not
I get
possible.
that vibe.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
But, no. He's been around. He's been around 7 years already. Count the years.
That's fair. Well, I think that you're right about that. I'm trying to see anything positive about this season, and there's just not a lot to hold on to. We just can't play defense. I don't care who the defensive coordinator is. And to the gentleman, I think it was Brian saying that you had to go hire. Dale Jones. All in, by the way, 100%. It's never going to happen because Josh isn't going to fire his friends. It's just not happening.
Right.
So, it's silly. I just don't get it. A man would rather go down with his ship than toss one or two rats overboard that need to go anyways. And frankly, Rodney Garner's probably going back to Auburn, depending on the coach.
That's what I'm hearing. Really I'm hearing that. Thanks. Good talking to you. Yeah, I hear Rodney. There's a decent chance that happens. Yeah, depending on who the coach is. And Matt, that will be a huge loss for Tennessee's defense if Rodney goes. If you have Tim Banks over there and no Rodney Garner, good gosh almighty.
Yeah, that's the one unit that's been really good. the last couple of years. I mean, it's been the strength of your defense for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you go three deep on the defensive line. It's really impressive.
He's so good. Developed so many players. So good.
When you can kick a field goal down by 25 to cut it to 22, you do it. Mississippi State.
I love Mississippi State. This Chef Levy guy, now he's special.
Goes for 4th and 4 inside his own 20 and then kicks a field goal down 25.
He's pretty special.
That's interesting.
He's special.
He might be special enough to be on Hypel staff next year.
He's pretty bad. If I was Mississippi State, I think I'd pull the plug on him. I'm not kidding. I think I'd be pulling the plug on that cat, watching him manage football games. Boys, it's been a lot of fun. On the way out.
Yeah. I got one more thing. I want to see if if they've talked about this in the press box, because I've been meaning to bring this up, and Rusty just reminded me earlier, because we've joked about it every game. Tennessee has the worst captains in the history of football. Tennessee's lost every coin toss this year, all 10 to start games and both overtimes. We're 0 for 12 on the coin toss this year. It's one of the more incredible streaks I've ever seen.
E, are you there? Eric, unmute yourself. We've lost every coin toss. Have the Bungles ever done that in any one season, Eric?
No, I don't think they've ever done that. God, that's awful. I've not noticed that.
Maybe the Titans can win a coin toss. Maybe at least they can do that.
Matt, are you telling me every coin, like in every coin toss, you mean every coin toss or just about every?
All 12 this year, all 10 to start games and in both overtimes.
Yeah.
We've lost every coin toss, which is, it's almost impossible because half the time you're not even the one calling it. The other team does, and they still get it right. Like it's 0 for 12 on a 50-50 coin tosses. The odds of that are just probably about the odds of Tennessee sneaking in at 9-3 to the playoffs. So I guess it is possible.
We have hope, man. We have hope. All right, boys, final thoughts. Dixon, go for it.
Yeah, just team took care of business. It wasn't really fun or really entertaining, but they got the job done. The best part of the day was obviously the Amachi tailgate, pregame. The best thing you do every year, Tone. It's always a lot of fun to see that and witness that. It's a great testimony to you and Brooke for Amachi for the hard work that she puts in. No, obviously not just today, but really every day she does that. That's doing the Lord's work for sure. But no, it's a lot of fun to see that and then have another game in Neyland. We only have one more this year, so got to take advantage of it. Had great weather, so it was good to see. And always good when you can have a lot of new faces in the crowd. You can make fans for life that way. All it takes is that one memory, and hopefully that happened for a bunch of the Amachi kids today.
Yeah, and Matt met a couple people today that were like, "It's our first game." An older guy that was with a kid, and he looked at us and said he didn't know who I was, And I don't walk around going, "Hey, I'm the radio person here. This is our deal." He said, "Now, are you with the Amachi folks?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of do a radio show, and we sort of put this on." And he looked at me and Matt and said, "This is my first time over here, and this youngster that I'm with, this is our first time here." And that really popped your dab, Matt. Jack really loved hearing that, because that's what it's about. It's sharing something we love with other people and inviting them in and giving these people just a great day. And that's what that tailgate's all about, because those kids have been through so much. When you have one or both parents who are incarcerated, I mean, how hard must life be for those poor young souls? I mean, that's got to be so hard. But thank you, Matt. It was great seeing you today. Ewad? Ewad of the Mute Wad, any final thoughts? All right. Brian Hartman?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, I just wanted to say, look, I'm the Amachi tailgate stuff that you do year after year. I have people who come up and they say stuff to me about it because they know my connection with the show, and it just I never have to feel bad about being attached to the stuff that you do because of that event. I mean, it makes me proud that I know you, and the work that you do, and what Amachi does for these kids. I mean, I can't even imagine going through the stuff that they go through, and for them to have this kind of attention paid to them is spectacular. About the football, glad we won tonight. I would have been shocked if it was even much of a contest. But, we took care of the business we had to take care of. And hopefully next week we'll end this, and it doesn't end the series, but it ends the consecutive series. Wouldn't it be really nice just to end this darn thing with a win? You can just put that to rest forever because it's done with. I would be really excited about that. So go Big Orange.
Thank you, brother. Bry?
Well, if you can do that, you'd win 3 of the last 4, and you would go at least 4 years without losing a football game to Florida when you think about it. So that's something that the fan base really is owed, is to feel like they're the superior program between these two. And I think Tennessee is the superior team to Florida. They need to go back it up by proving that next week. And then I think when you've won 3 out of 4, you've sort of established yourself. And then you've won, it'd be Hypel's, 3rd win against Florida, I guess that would be his
5 years.
3 out of 5. So I mean,
good.
you got the better program, and I think that's what the fan base really deserves to have to feel like.
Yeah, we do, and the truth is, we do have a better program than them. And the truth is,
yes,
and the truth is, they have a fan base, depending on what time of the day that game is next week, that might check out on them. Because they're what now? 3-7 coming in.
They're 3-7. They're officially out of bowl eligibility. Yep. So I think them having a tough, hard-fought game, where they played well in the first half, they didn't score in the second half. I think that's going to play to the Vols' advantage psychologically wise.
Losing out on a Birmingham Bowl appearance got to be tough to bounce back from.
Well, Matt, they're not going to get to play a game after Christmas.
I know. That's tough. That's really tough. They
just
might not
kidding,
even be able to build a team next
Bri, that's one of your favorite bits of mine is the Christmas bowl game.
Brian wants Shreveport so bad.
Hey, they could go to a Florida Bowl. Tennessee could go back to Florida in a month and play in a
I'll tell you what,
better location.
I'll tell you what. If we lose that game next week, we are going to caravan to Shreveport. And Matt, it sleets in Shreveport every year on that damn game. Whoever the poor fools are that go to that damn game, it sleets on people just about every year in that game. There's ZR falling out of the sky, which is to say frozen rain. Gentlemen, it's been fun. Thank you to the panel. I want to thank E. I want to thank TGMD, Brian, C in absentia. I thank you. Thank all the great listeners of the show. I love our fan base. You can't. We have this indomitable thing about us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good our team is or isn't. We win every week. We just win every week. I mean, we have more characters and more fun and more laughs, and our colors are cool, and we play in an awesome stadium, And the flyover was incredible today, and the tickets are really expensive. And we just have so much fun. And I'm just so blessed to be here. And today, I was sitting down there at the tailgate, half exhausted and half fried and just overjoyed at the scene and just sort of overwhelmed. And your generosity is just so appreciated. Even if you did like nothing for our event today, but listen to the show. You're still a part of it. And I just appreciate so much getting to do this. So thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors. Marcos Garza, my Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Incredible people. VIP play, remember, there's a full card of college ball. There's still some late games if you want to get involved. My friends at Calhoun's, the Taste of Tennessee, just made events. You guys just made today's event. Where they've got for Thanksgiving smoked turkey or hot and ready smoked prime rib for you and all the fixins. Shout out to T3 Vodka. Score a T3 TD every time. As I remind you, you'll be able to score a TD T3 as Tennessee hits 3 balls on Monday against the ice handler who's in town. Shout out to our friends at Waterside Contracting. Thank you for those parking spots today. He doesn't want me to use his name on the air, but thank you. And Walker's Painting, thank you for those parking spots today for the kids. Awesome. Special shout out to our friends at TLD Logistics. They're online at tldlogistics.com. Shout out to our friends at Connexial, Wichita Ken. Thank you for making our community a better place to live with what you're doing in downtown Knoxville. Shout out to the great Josh Collins of my Collins Insurance Agency, online at collinsinsuranceTN.com, home of Erie Insurance, who insures the Rainier Studio. Shout out to our friends at Alumni Hall, the ultimate volunteer shopping experience. They don't do this for this reason, but support them. They go off for the kids. Shout out to my man Alan, WeShipFloors.com, who was so generous to us with our tailgate this year. Awesome, man. Awesome. Shout out to Dr. Rogers and my friends at Performance Medicine. Ben, shout out to you. And my friends at Dos Equis. Shout out to Dos Equis. Go for Dos. 2025 Cervezas Mexicana. White Plains, New York. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, I just think there's still a lot to play for. Next week's going to be really interesting at Florida, and it's time to win a game. It's time to win a game. Till we meet again, G to the B to the O, I love you. And thanks for joining us for the show. Peace and go Vols. And that will wrap up our festivities. You know, generally we're going to go longer, but, man, I'm roached after doing that tailgate, and we just played New Mexico State. So, I mean, you got to be temporary insane to... Here's today's show right back at you.
Big Orange fans, you played every snap. You showed your orange. But you're just getting started, because it's time for the best post-game fan show in college football. It's time for the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. The place where the Big Orange universe from all around the world gathers to talk about today's game. Unfiltered,